for the Broncos. And the kick is good. And the fourth quarter magic remains for Denver. 18 to for the Broncos. And the kick. It's a heavy price to pay for 13, but they settled in Dallas and signed a big deal and will be here for a long time, Rantanen. But one-time team. Edmonton extends on its red-hot power play. That's now 11 goals in their last 2-0. Edmonton extends on its red-hot power play. First on it, Sagan. First on it, Sagan. Now Borg. Snatched away. Mangiapane. Nugent Hopkins cross-eye. Three-shot score. Connor McDavid. 3-1 Edmonton.
The Jason Gregor Show.
For the Broncos. And the kick is good. And the fourth quarter magic remains for Denver.
On Sports 1440.
Time team. Connor scored. Set up by Roslovic. 2-0. Edmonton extends on its red-hot power play.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Snatched away. Mangiapane. Nugent Hopkins cross-eye. Three-shot score. Connor McDavid. 3-1 Edmonton.
Well, a tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, our show is brought to you by our friends at PlayAlberta.ca, where Thursdays, it's a fun game, where you could win the Daily Grand. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Totals up to $7.3 million. Good luck. Get your tickets at playalberta.ca. We got a busy show. Landon Farrar is going to join us in hour number one. David Owens from Sherbrooke. Alan May on 900 goals. And I looked up some of the stats. I was calculating them on Alexander Ovechkin. And what's wild about Ovi is in his 30s, Ovechkin scored 422 goals in 700 and some games. I don't know the exact number of games. I have to look it up, but I have it. It's in my article. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. 422. Leon Draisaitl in his career thus far has 409 goals. Austin Matthews in his career thus far has 409 goals. And Draisaitl just celebrated. He just turned 30. So now he's entering his 30s. So let's say he was able to do what Ovi did in his 30s and match it, which would be rather difficult, to say the least, to do. So, but because somebody did it, at least you can say it's possible. Right? Not likely, but it is possible. So when you look at Ovechkin, he had 422 goals, 731 games from age 30 to 39. So Draisaitl started, just turned 30, right? So he'd start from his birthday. And let's say he managed to match that. He would get then to 831 goals. If he matches what Ovi did in his 30s. By the time he's, before he turns 40, he would have 800 and some plus goals, which is pretty damn impressive. Now, it's really hard to do. And like, I still see people, well, Austin Matthews is ahead. Yes. Ovechkin had 403 goals in his first 643 games. Matthews has 409. Scoring's up a little bit, but that's really where I think the comparison ends. Matthews is a good goal scorer, don't get me wrong. The difference is, in Ovi's first 643 games, he had only missed a handful of games. Right? That's the difference. He was suspended for 7 games, and he missed 2 games for his ailing grandfather. So basically, he missed 16 games due to injury. Matthews has already missed 69 due to injury. And he will have the advantage that he started a year earlier in the NHL, did Matthews. So that gives him an extra year to maybe catch up. But he's going to have to stay on pace. And this is how I look at it. Matthews, to this stage of his career, which is, entering his 10th year, he has scored 409 goals over a 10-year span, 19 to 28. Now, he's got the end of this year, so he should pass Ovechkin's 422. But that's what Ovi did in his 30s. So basically, if anybody thinks Matthews has a realistic chance of catching Ovi, he's going to have to do what Ovi did in his 30s. And most players in their careers can't do what Ovi did in his 30s. 422 goals in 731 games. Like, come on. It's not happening. Right? Like, it's just the conversation is nice and it's fun, but let's be real. It's not realistic. Right? It's not realistic. So how many guys have even averaged in their careers, like in their prime, in their 20s, 0.577 goals per game? That's what Ovi did in his 30s. That's why he's the greatest goal scorer of all time in the NHL. He's up to 900 goals. Now, if he was looking to shoot for something, now it's a record that no one's ever talked about. No one had really ever even mentioned it until Ovi was chasing down Gretzky, and some Canadians were like, well, I don't want a Russian to beat him. So what else could I find? And you found that Gretzky's regular season and playoff goal totals is 1,016. Ovi's now at 977. So does it matter? He's 40 goals shy. If he played this year, next year, and they make it to the playoffs, could he score 40 goals? I'd probably think he could. I think Ovi, now that he's scored, like for him, he's off to, they call it a slow start. It's 3 goals in 13 games. By his standards, yeah, it's slow. No question. But that still puts him on a 20-goal pace. And do I think he's going to score 20, 25 goals this year? Yeah, probably. Knowing Ovi, he could easily surpass 30. It wouldn't surprise me. But so that's an interesting one. I was looking at some other early season trends in the NHL. How about this? Last year, Leon Draisaitl set the NHL record for most overtime goals in one season. He had 6. Nobody in the history of the NHL has done it. Now, there's a few guys that have had 5. Stamkos, Jonathan Toews, Galchenyuk, Brad Marchand, Sebastian Aho, Nick Suzuki. They've all had 5 in a year. Draisaitl had 6. Cole Caulfield already has 3. And they've only played 13 games. The Habs have won 5 games in overtime already this year. And I know when you look at Montreal, you have to at least consider, the teams that they're beating when you look at their record. Now, good for them. But they beat Seattle twice in overtime, Calgary and Nashville in overtime. They've also beat Chicago and Vancouver, some of the West Coast teams, because early on, the Eastern teams are having much more success than the West. Straight up. It's been better for them. If you look at, they've played 91 games. The East has won 54. The West has won 37. Now, they've lost 18 of them in overtime or a shootout, but still, the East is dominating early on. And what's funny is the Anaheim Ducks are 6-2 against the East. They're keeping the West above points, 500 points percentage, just because of their ability to dominate the East at this stage. So we'll see. The Florida Panthers, Anaheim's beat them twice already this year. How about Florida today is in the basement of the Eastern Conference? Now, you could say, hey, they're 16th place, which they are, but they're also only 2 points out of being tied for the final wildcard spot with Washington. Washington has 15 points. The Flyers have 15 points. Islanders, Columbus, Tampa Bay, Ottawa, Buffalo, and the Rangers have 14, and the Panthers have 13. And all those teams have played 13 games except the Rangers, who have played 14. In the East, in the West, like there's really only two teams that early on have put themselves a little bit out of it. The Blues, who got spanked again last night by Ovi and the Capitals. And it looks like Jordan Kyrou is going to be a healthy scratch tonight. Jim Montgomery's not happy. When you're healthy scratching one of your top players, like you want to bench a guy for 5 or 6 minutes. That's one thing. You're healthy scratching one of your best guys. That's when you know you are annoyed as a head coach, and you've likely had numerous conversations behind the scenes. And now the rubber hits the road and the coach says enough's enough. The Blues, they are getting absolutely, like, they're not just losing, they're getting crushed early on. So I get it. You know, your coach, there's only so many options you have, but the Blues have given up 58 goals. They're minus 20 through 14 games. Minus 20. You do the math on that, and you're talking a team that's going to be like minus 60 plus before the end of the season. It's not good. Actually, even more than that. What am I talking about? They're going to be over to minus 100. Now, I don't assume that's going to last, but it'd be actually close to like minus 116 goal against ratio. That's at the pace they're on, which is not good by any stretch of the imagination. So touch on that. We also have Alan May. We'll talk Ovi. Tater with the 2-minute warning. We got Farhan Lalji. We'll set up the CFL West and Eastern Conference Finals. Spec will be by DVD. Also, Livingston in the Racing Report. We'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's, maybe Montgomery would healthy scratch Bouchard. Well, maybe. If the orders are minus 20, non-block would probably be maybe in a little bit more of an angry mood than the orders are, right? Like the orders are meh, I think is the best way to say it right now for that team. They are just meh. They're not awful, right? Like their goals for against, they're even. Not great. Like their power play is ridiculous. Lots of other areas of their game need to be way better. Goaltending needs to be better. Defensive play needs to be better. Puck management needs to be better. 5-on-5 scoring needs to be better. Depth scoring needs to be better. Go down the list. Team needs to be more physical. Like outside of the power play, there's nothing on the team right now that you're like, woo, it's going good. Except now, this is a reach. I will admit this. This is a reach. But if you are looking for positives on the orders, and it is very early on, and it's not even technically with the Edmonton Oilers, but it is the Edmonton Oilers organization. And you look at young Samuel Johnson, the prospect who was the 5th-round pick of the Oilers in 2022. He's playing his first year in North America. He has played 4 games. He's 4-0. He has a .945 save percentage. He's allowed 5 goals, and guess what? They all came in one game because he has 3 shutouts in his other 4 starts. Now, I get that it's ECHL. I totally understand it. But a shutout is a shutout is a shutout. When you have 3 shutouts in a row, right? To me, that's pretty impressive. That's really impressive. And Bo Wakey, by the way, was sent down to get some playing time. I thought they might consider putting him in the back to junior as a 20-year-old. I know some people scoff at that, but that guy's barely played any hockey the last few years. He needs to regain some confidence. And I'm telling you, the ECHL is not an easy league. But Samuel Johnson, if you're looking for a young goalie, prospect in the organization, this is the guy. He's huge, right? 6'5", moves pretty well. And his start to his North American career, hard to get much better than what he's had. And if he keeps playing like that, at some point, they're going to have to call him up to the American League. It's just that simple, right? That would be the next step. And hey, lots of goalies. Don't tell me, oh, it's just the ECHL. Do you know how many goalies have started in the ECHL? Because you got to get them playing time, right? You got to get them playing time. And lots of guys start down there. So if you look at their American League goalies, I know it's a totally different league and totally different defense and players and everything, but Matt Tompkins, he's got a 361 goals against. Connor Ingram has a 405. Ingram has an 848 save percentage. Matt Tompkins has an 882. Now, if we get to the end of November and you've still got that disparity in numbers and Johnson's just killing it, well, at some point you have to look and say, okay, let's see what he can do at the next level, right? You don't have to keep him the entire year in the ECHL. Trey Savage says hello, because you never know. You cannot say he has to stay there the entire season. You just can't do it. So there, if you're looking for a positive order, fans, and it's one that might not help you for a while, but you always need somebody in the organization that gives you reason to believe. Gives you reason to believe. So, hey, Gregor, Gretzky had a career plus minus of 520. Ovechkin's plus 63. I don't ever want to hear anyone say Ovi's the greatest. Stat just proves how much better of a complete player Gretzky was, Aaron. Now, Aaron, are you honestly going to use plus minus as your stat? I don't know if it's the best stat to use. No one's ever said that Ovi was the greatest player of all time. He's the greatest goal scorer of all time. Just plus minus has nothing to do with goal scoring. We're just saying who is the greatest goal scorer. Now, do you want to throw up what's the hit stat between Gretzky and Ovechkin? Right? Very different players. And hey, I love Wayne. Don't get me wrong. He's a better passer. There's no doubt. I'm not putting Ovi in Wayne's category overall, but we can find some statistics. There's no reason to have to disparage Ovechkin. No player in the history of the game has ever scored 900 regular season goals until Alex Ovechkin. Okay? And he scored it in an era where goals are a little bit hard to come by. Yet he still scores at a high rate. Like, look at him last year. 39 freaking years of age. And Ovi, look at how many goals he had. What if he didn't get injured? He might have scored 50 for a 10th time, which is absolutely wild to think about. So I'm not comparing him to Gretzky overall, but he's a better goal scorer. And I love Dwayne Gretzky as a player. Love him. But you can't, there's no argument to try to suggest that Gretzky's a better goal scorer than Ovi. But Gretzky is still underrated as a goal scorer. I know when people always thought, oh, greatest goal scorer in the game, and they don't mention Gretzky. I always like, what are you talking about? How can you not mention Gretzky? You got to mention Gretzky. Why? Because he has the second most goals in NHL history in the regular season. Come on. He has the most playoff goals. Now, I know playoff goals are a little bit different because you got to play the games. And his team played a lot of playoff games. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Also, there is Thursday night football tonight, Conman. What do you make of tonight's Thursday nighter in the National Football League?
Oh, it could get ugly if you are a fan of the Vegas Raiders, I think. The Denver Broncos, a very good team, really good at home. You already have that advantage with the altitude for that defense. And I think the Broncos, there's been some ups and downs, some tight games. I feel like this might be a game where you can kind of let the frustration out and kind of throttle the opponent here. The Raiders traded away Jacoby Myers, so they're down a receiver. You bracket Brock Bowers, and I don't really know how else the Vegas Raiders beat you. Like the line isn't good enough to block for Ashton Genty. Geno Smith can throw the ball all over the place. Doesn't mean he's going to complete passes. I think he could be throwing a lot of interceptions against a good Broncos secondary. And for the Broncos, I mean, the running game's starting to get going. You got J.K. Dobbins, but R.J. Harvey also some big plays here and there. So I'm thinking it's going to be a Bronco blowout. That being said, Gregor, we've seen this, 3 of the last 4 Thursday nighters when it's divisional opponents. We've seen some upsets. So crazy things have happened, but I couldn't see it happening this time. The Denver Broncos got a really good team there.
What do you think about their their running back spot tonight? J.K. Dobbins going to get a lot of touches. They're going to spread it around. Now, Harvey only had 8 touches last week, and I know he scored 3 times, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, my God, it's split. No, it doesn't split. He just had 8 touches and scored 3 touchdowns, which was wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with J.K. Dobbins, the knock on him has always been injuries, and can he stay healthy? And I think the Denver Broncos are probably looking at that, saying like, well, as the season goes on, maybe we lower the workload a little bit for J.K. Dobbins. I know he was carrying the bulk of the carries, or getting the bulk of the carries at the start of the season. He's got 135 compared to Harvey's 46, and still averaging 5.1 yards per carry, which is pretty real. It's very good. Over 5 yards per carry in the NFL. That's outstanding, especially with that many carries. So I still think J.K. Dobbins probably gets the majority of the looks, but it looks like R.J. Harvey can be a home run hitter and take it to the house at any point. We saw that a couple weeks ago with a big run. So yeah, I mean, I would still expect J.K. Dobbins to get the majority of the carries, but R.J. Harvey's going to work his way into that lineup.
Quick break. We'll come back. We will talk some Oilers. The Oilers had the rookie event in Dallas. They did not come home yesterday and flew home today. And then they will practice on Friday. So they're enjoying a little bit of time off in the Big D. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old mom managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I've got to get 2 cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. Hey, maybe I'll eat 1 cheeseburger right away and save 1 for later. Maybe I'll stack them and eat them both at once. Options. Oh, delicious, delicious options.
So 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a 2 cheeseburger meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Hi, I'm Al Hamilton, first captain of the Edmonton Oilers. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men, and here in Alberta, we're fighting back. This November, every dollar you give helps the Prostate Cancer Centre fund early detection, testing, and life-saving support right here in our province. Let's keep it in Alberta for our fathers, brothers, husbands, and friends. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your men's health fundraiser or donate today. Together, we can look after the men in our community. Thank you for your support.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, a tremendous Thursday afternoon. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day. Lots to discuss on the show. The Edmonton Oilers. Hey, you know what? You could, Oiler fans, you deserve it. You need a few nights off to refresh. I know many of you are going to the Pizza Pickout. It's sold out. Thank you very much for all of you who purchased tickets for tonight's event. You're going to get a lot of good pizza and lots of fun. So I look forward to seeing many of you tonight for the 7th annual Pizza Pickout. If you didn't get tickets, say snooze, you lose. That's how it goes sometimes. What's wrong with that? Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Well, I can tell you right now, no snoozing at Go Auto. They got over 15,000 vehicles to choose from. And not only do they get you good vehicles, they give back to the community to the tune of $24 million that they've donated to charities in their community. They love giving back at goauto.ca. As we welcome in former NHLer, pre- and post-game analyst Landon Ferraro joins us. Landon, when you, did you have like a memorable rookie party, whether it was you, the rookie, or someone else's rookie party?
Yeah. My year in Boston, we had it in LA, and it was a fun time. Like it's something you always think about, and then you finally do it, and it was fun. We ended up at a bar, and it was lots of people around. It was a good time, and then all of a sudden, no one was really around anymore. There was this upper area. I look up there, I'm like, oh, everyone kind of left to that spot, and it was Leo DiCaprio and Gronkowski up there. So it made sense everyone left our area.
Well, there you go. Yeah, nice. Did you meet Gronk?
No, I tried to work my way in. I figured like Boston to Boston, and I did a terrible job talking, and none of us were in that area, that's for sure.
Yeah, in LA,
different level.
Yeah, in LA is a little bit different, Little bit different.
We needed somewhere in the north end in Boston. We had a way better chance.
Yeah, Brad Marchand wasn't wheeling his way in there, or what?
Not that I remember. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I was just trying to get through the night.
Well, that sounds like the Oilers lately. Just trying to get through a game without giving up a lead, and it's obviously not worked. I know it's not panic time in Edmonton by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like they're not playing remotely close to the level they're capable of. I think most people know that in and outside of the organization. But like, at what point does it become a concern, do you think, for a team that they know they're good, but they're not playing to their capabilities, at least on a night-by-night basis?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like it's not stress time, but it is frustration time for the reason that you ended with. They know they're a good team. They know that they can play the right way, and they're just not fully there yet. And, the last two, in a sense, have been better, in the fact that they get out to a lead. Obviously they punt it away, but they've started well. It's more about just staying in it mentally. Like you look at a decent number of the goals they've given up. It's not even that these unbelievable plays are being made. It's the offense is given to them. It's someone falling asleep, not covering someone in front, or a tough turnover and the back check's not there. Like it's just the little things that are adding up to goals against. So, I think it's something where there's enough people in that room that, have proven what they can be, that are just going to be too frustrated to not deal with this situation sooner than later. There's no reason for this team to be chasing points at the end of the year, trying to get into a position to have some game or playoff games that start at home. Like their team's good enough now, and I think they'll realize it and get moving. Yeah.
A few days off, they had their rookie party. They saw some players, some other people in the organization with the Mavs games. And just, sometimes you get away, you spend 2 days, they're flying back today. So they had 2 days off. They've played the most games in the NHL, well, tied with a few teams at 15. So I know it's, sometimes a few days off can be enough to just get a team focused again.
It really can. And having rookie party in there too, like it's especially having it early in the year like this, where you've been through training camp, even though that's so much quicker than it was in the past, but it's still a good number of games, and you got to get through camp. And then the first part of the season has been jam-packed, and they've been going what I assume to them feels nonstop. So have a bit of fun, get to know guys, the new guys in a different way, out away from the rink, and having fun that way, and then just getting some rest and having a few days to really kind of think about what's going on right now. And the nice, the good thing looking at it to me is the fact that it's not a bunch of different big issues and you're like, where are we going to plug that hole, or what are we going to do here? It to me, it's really simple fixes and more just being a bit more dialed in when you're on the ice every shift and making sure you're not giving up easy opportunities.
You look at the orders, and Jack Roslovic landed in a time where there's not a lot to be overly excited about. Jack Roslovic's last few games have definitely looked like a guy who's starting to find his groove in Edmonton.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, his first pass to Podkolzin was beautiful. The way that he's holding off a check and he makes it one-handed all the way across and puts it right on his tape. It was great. Like, you see the skill there. On Draisaitl's goal, Bouchard does a great job of keeping that in, but how fast the puck moved from McDavid to Roslovic down to Draisaitl, that couldn't be any more in the corner. I don't think I've ever seen him shoot a puck from that angle. It was insane, but he sees the game, he can make the plays. The thing with Jack Roslovic is, everyone knows that he has skill and he can make plays. It's about the consistency side, and when the games get a little bit harder towards the end of the season, if he can still kind of stay in the game. But to me, he looks like a pretty determined player this year. Free agency didn't work out the way that he thought it would, and he sees the opportunity that is Edmonton right now, and you're right, he's off to a really good start.
Landon Ferraro joined us here on Sports 1440. I actually think Trent Frederic's last four, ever since the Vancouver game, I think Trent Frederic's playing a lot better. He's being way more physical. I like that element of his game. I'd still like to be a bit more snark at times. I know it's hard in today's, there's not a lot of it, but, I'd like to see him initiate, get into a scrum, get a face wash, something. Like, he's being physical. I actually think that line's played pretty well as of late. They haven't been able to score, unfortunately, as a trio, but I think Trent Frederic's last four games have been infinitely better than his first 10.
Yeah, I think he's skated much better, and you're right, like, that line does get in and finish some checks, and he's a guy that needs to be doing that, right? Like, that's one of the reasons that they traded for him and signed him longer, is that he can be that guy that brings some physicality, brings emotion to the game, and wanting to see a bit more of that out of him is totally fair. I think that, it doesn't even mean, like you said, it doesn't mean that he needs to go out and start fighting all over the place and trying to force that, but it's causing a bit of mayhem. When there is a scuffle after a whistle, go in there and grab onto someone, see if you can get him to take a penalty. Like, be that type of player, because he has it in him. We've all seen it. And I imagine if he starts doing a bit more of that, the rest of his game will start coming too, because it's amazing when you put yourself into the fire a bit more, how much more your natural abilities get going, because like, whether you've called out a couple of guys on their team or tried to run a couple guys, like, that the answer is going to be coming back, and that's when you're doing your job. Now you're playing, and you're playing a bit more free.
Yeah. The orders are getting close. We might see it this weekend, maybe Janmark and Hyman. If Hyman comes back, do you put Mangiapane or Nugent Hopkins? Because you're not splitting up the second line. So would you put Nugent Hopkins as your third line center, or move Mangiapane to the third line?
I'd start with Mangiapane down to the third, just to really make sure that Hyman's in a spot that he feels comfortable in, because you want him up and running as quick as you can. So, I think putting him out with with Nugent Hopkins and McDavid, it's a familiar spot. He's comfortable there. He knows exactly what they're doing, and he can just get his game up and running. See if Mangiapane against some lighter matchups as well, see if he can get a bit of his goal scoring and point totals to get moving a little bit. I like his game, Mangiapane. I think that he works, and he's always moving after it. That pass or the zone entry to pass to Nugent Hopkins before McDavid's goal, to see him doing that out against lesser matchups as well, just seeing if that could provide a bit of a spark for him while getting Hyman into a comfortable spot in the lineup.
Yeah, I think Hyman's got to start with McDavid. I know some people say, oh, no, he's got to work his way. And I'm like, why? He's been skating for over a month. It's a wrist injury. His condition, I don't think is going to be much of an issue. He's the best right winger for McDavid. It's not even close. So I put him there game one. What about you?
Yeah, I'm right with you. And to me, it's, McDavid's line plays a ton. And if you need to move Mangiapane up for a random shift once a period to give Hyman a bit of a break, if you see that actually is an issue, because skating on your own and skating in a game is a lot harder. You can easily move that up and down, but I think you have to start Hyman with McDavid. And again, it's just about that comfortability and get him up to pace as quickly as possible.
Looking around the league, we are seeing way more games into overtime than we have ever before. 60 of them already, right on pace to be 365. And with that, some teams, hey, Montreal's got 5 overtime wins already, just in overtime, not even shootouts. Cole Caulfield has 3 overtime winners already. The record's 6 set by Draisaitl last year. What do you make of all of the extra points early? Good for the league or bad?
I mean, I like it. The longer that you can keep as many teams as possible in that tight mix that the standings is right now, I think that's great. I think for the most part, I'd be curious to look at the stat as I'm about to say it, but scoring has been up too. There's been a lot of higher scoring games and teams coming back. And, I think that's partly, a big factor of it would be how condensed the games are and the travel between and the amount of back-to-backs and things like that. Your teams are, it's not, there's not as many times where you're on the road and you're going into play a game and you're like, yeah, they've been sitting here for a week waiting for this one, just how the schedule worked. No one has that. So, there's a lot of teams that are playing, tough. Well, I mean, just Edmonton alone, they go from St. Louis to Dallas. That's not an easy trip to play back-to-back, and then you're going in and playing a solid team. So, I think it's good that everything's as tight as it is. But I imagine as the season goes on as well, it's not going to get any easier. And that's where it's so important to be mentally strong and be able to, understand if you don't have your A game, what your B game is going to look like and what you still provide to your team, because you're going to be playing games where guys are fatigued. And I think you're seeing that right now with the amount of lead changes and games that are ending up in overtime.
Yeah, scoring is basically, it's slightly up from last year early on. It's basically the same as it was in 24 and still lower than 23 and 22. So and power play percentage is funny enough. Power play overall in the league is slightly down from last year right now, but save percentage is lower because there's just fewer shots being tracked, right? Now they any shot that if the goalie used to make a glove save and his glove was outside the net, they called it a shot on goal. Now they don't.
Yeah, that's
right?
No fun for any of the guys, especially that poor fourth liner that you're sitting there and you're like, I got a couple, and you look after and you only got one.
Yeah. No, it's exactly. It's not ideal, but they're cracking down, and so that's automatically goals aren't up or that much, or goals aren't down either way. But save percentage is down below 900. The last time the NHL average save percentage was below 900, you got to go back to 1996 when it was 898. And you had a run, obviously, in the 80s and the 90s where it was, sub 900. Lots of goals were scored. Then they went into the clutch and grab era, which sucked. And, It just hasn't ever got back. And then we had even like the highs, like everybody raves about the goalies in 2014, 15. There was no offense landing back then. Like Jamie Benn was winning the scoring title with 87 points, for goodness sakes. Like it was, that's
a completely
slog.
different look of a league.
Yeah, it was a slog. It's amazing to think only a decade ago how different it was. No question. Do you have any concern about the orders, or is it just they're kind of in the muck a bit and everything should be fine in 6 weeks or sooner?
No, I still think it's going to be fine. I think that they do. The hard thing is not seeing the team with Hyman and even Janmark, like just a bit more size in their bottom six. The young kids, have done a good job, but you still have Howard sitting there playing, a decent amount under 10 minutes, and it's probably not the place anymore. Like he needs to get down and go play some good minutes in the American League, but in doing that, you get a bit of size. Like I think that the Oilers can do a better job of trying to control the play, not just straight off of skill in the offensive zone, but playing a bit of those harder minutes, kind of grinding down the other team's defense, so that when they do have a lead halfway through a game or going into a third, guys aren't as fresh and still moving as well. I think that's an area they can definitely improve on, and as well as a couple others. But to me, I'm like, this team to me is better than it was last year. It's just about the pieces falling in where they need to and guys playing.
Landon, we'll talk to you next week, buddy. Have yourself a good weekend.
Yeah, you as well.
That's Landon Ferraro joining us, pre- and post-game host here on Sports 1440. We got a lot of texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, why are shots that hit the post not considered shots on net? Because, Rick, the simple way, a shot on goal is if the goalie wasn't there, the puck would go in the net. And so if it hits the goal post and the goalie's not there, as you can attest to some Oilers' chances on empty net goals the last few years, it doesn't go in the net. Thus, it's not a shot on goal. So shot on net has always been where the puck would go into the net if there wasn't a goalie there. All right. So that's how it works. So yes, posts and crossbars do not count as shots on goal, which I know you think it's because you're close, but are you really close? You're not, especially the ones that are on the outside of the goalpost. Those are like, whatever. They're not even they're not there. They're not close. So take a quick break and something to liven you up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Stories are told to make a point, and GS Construction takes them very seriously. We're not talking about fairy tales. GS Construction looks at the story old pipes tell us, a tale of time and pressure and endurance. So when those old pipes are ready to end their story, GS Construction starts a new chapter by repairing or rebuilding, or in some cases, renewing the underground infrastructure that supports our modern lives, making sure every community's story continues on safely and reliably. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCode.com. It's okay to not be okay.
If you're looking for nonstop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440, Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
and so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Michelle and Colette are sisters. Sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's #1.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Herrischweiner. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree.
Wilhauk beef jerky is the best.
It might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win friends with salad.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.244, welcome back. 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, the Oilers have played 18% of their games. We have 1 point ahead of last year after 15. Guess we're hoping for a 16-game winning streak again from Cal. Well, Cal, my man, you got to step back from the ledge, serenity now, and FYI, the Oilers' longest winning streak last year was 5 games. When they won 16, that was a few seasons ago. So last year, the longest winning streak they had was 5. So do I think the Oilers have a 5-game win streak in them at some point this year? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Now, when? It's a good question. Can the Oilers play better? 100%. I think we'd all agree with that. But you always got to be grounded in your concern. And the fact is they didn't win 16 games in a row last year. That's a few years ago. Now, let's get to our Thirsty Thursday segment brought to you by Brook Liquor, beer, wine, cocktails, all the best brands in the world. They got it. And for those of you that are like, you know what? I don't want an alcohol. I got to like the non-alcoholics. Well, they got the unbelievable choice of non-alcoholic beverages. 2 locations, Southside on 50th Street, 92nd Ave, and the original location, St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue, as David Owen joins us once again in studio. And fitting, Dave, you brought in some beers because Cal and a few other fans maybe they could use something to calm their nerves right now.
Oh man, yeah, we've got some fantastic beers here today, and I see that you've got your I don't know if it's a playoff beard going or you got the winter warmer happening here or what, but it's getting thick there.
It is, yeah. I'm trying to grow. I'm just growing it. So
that's good.
Lazy right now.
Yeah,
I'm not close to you yet, but it's coming along.
Yeah,
it's a little speckled.
That's
so
good.
What can you do? So no, it's good.
Yeah, well, we brought in some fresh hopped beers today. This is a fantastic time of year. I love this time. It's very short window, and we get these fresh hopped beers. So what that means. Typically hops, when the brewers get them, it either comes in, a pellet form or it's been, super dried already.
Okay.
But when you get fresh hops, you get all that great lupulin in there, which is that, yellowish kind of, that's where you get all the oils and aromas and flavors from in the hops.
Okay.
And they're still wet. So you get all the oils and stuff to get in. So you get you get the best of the hops. Now they also don't stay fresh very long. So it's important to get these into the beer within like 24 hours of them being picked off.
Really?
The vine.
Oh, okay.
So these are, so we've got like 6 of the finest examples and some really cool examples
of fresh hopped beer.
Fresh hopped beer.
I've never even heard of fresh hopped beer.
They are, it's always, super low quantity because, the fresh hops, again, very, very difficult to get.
Woo.
But you're going to smell like right off the bat. The smell is really intense on all of these here.
Okay, so we're starting out with house plants.
Yeah, so we're starting off
West Coast Pilsner.
This is the establishment house plants. Now, fresh hops are typically always IPAs, and establishment's done a really cool Pilsner, but with these sort of West Coast style hops. So we're getting that really great, basically, Pilsner, malt background, but with those really intense West Coast piney hops. Oh, and you can just like the smell of
it, and
still
even
fantastic.
Like it just tastes way crisper than a lot of other beers. Is that what fresh hop? I didn't even know there's such a thing, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to know out of our listeners, how many of you knew there was like fresh hop. Like that was a thing that you had
Yeah.
24 hours to make the beer in. I never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the difference between fresh hops and dried hops and pellet, like it's incredible too, just the aroma.
Yes.
There's very few people that even use whole hops because they take up a lot of space, obviously. There is in Bend, Oregon, Deschutes uses fresh hops still, or not fresh hops, but they use whole hops, and they have a particular refrigerator that's just these massive bales of hops that are like 6 feet, 8 feet tall, 10 feet wide. They're massive bales, and you open that door to that thing and you're just blasted with the aromas of it. It's fantastic.
All right. Okay.
So that's our establishment, West Coast Pilsner. So really cool for a Pilsner, getting something just a little bit different and getting all that brightness in there with the hops.
Well, I have to say the next one I like simply for the can.
Yeah, so this is a Cannery.
Cannery Brewing.
These are out of Penticton.
Yeah.
And so we're moving up from a 5% beer into a 6% beer, and they've gone into a pale ale. And that's what they call this one, an extra pale ale. So extra sort of means it's a little bit lighter in the malt. It's not as dark as a lot of pale ales are. But this one here, they've used mosaic hops at super peak freshness. So you're going to get that tropical fruit, citrus, pine aromas, just bursting with that harvest
It's got
season.
a slight little aftertaste to it.
Yeah, you'll get that bitterness aftertaste
Yeah.
of the hop. It'll linger there with you for a
Because
while.
it doesn't taste at all bitter when you drink it, but then the aftertaste is a little bit there. But you're right. Like this they smell very different than any other beer
Yeah.
I've had. Wow.
And that is just a classic West Coast style, extra pale ale. That's a flavor that we used to get when IPAs were coming out and these big pale ales before. And as time's gone on, they've sort of been drowned out by these hazies and stuff like that. This is getting back to what they were several years ago. It's really exciting to see that.
So like fresh hops are very different than dried. So they normally, other beers will use dried hops.
Dried hops or pellets even.
Right.
So just they're literally just a small little pellet, like you get for feeding your rabbit or whatever.
And they're called like pellet hops?
They're just pellet hops. Yep. Yeah. So they're just super dried and compacted into pellets. Yeah. Like if you ever use those people that barbecue with Traeger, get those Traeger pellets or those pellets for wood stoves, about the same sort of size generally and things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Same tech to get them down into that.
So now we're going to go to the Fields of Plenty.
Yeah. Fields of Plenty, Small Gods. This is a fresh hop island pale ale. So these guys are out in on the island, and Whistle Boy. This is a really great example of beers and fresh hops right off of vines in the
God,
BC
that tastes
Valley.
really good.
Right. So back down to a little bit 5%.
Yeah.
You see, it's a
my
little
God.
bit darker in the body, like in the color
not
from
much.
the Cannery one.
Not much. Like they just fresh hops. Like I know this is going to sound maybe dumb, but they just taste like the beer tastes fresher and crisper than a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a
big
super
like why are
exciting
fresh
time of
hops
year.
not more popular? Because they're so hard to make?
Well,
you only
it's
have a limited time.
The season is so short, right? And you have to get like really picking hops. There's only a few days of hop harvesting season, so it's
Okay,
not
so
like
that's why you can't. And then, so is there only a certain time of year then when you get like? So what?
Yeah.
When do they normally make them?
So that like this is just now. These are just coming out.
So this will last basically until the end of November. Then they're done.
Totally. And some of them if that long. If they'll
Like
come
in store. Wow. So anybody out there, if you want to try the fresh hop beer, you literally got like it's a small window of time.
Small window of
try
time.
it.
Yeah, and it is best to try it now when it's fresh too.
Yes.
Like even if you put this in the can and hold on to it for
eventually
3, 4, or 5 months,
yeah,
it's not gonna be the same when you open it.
Yes.
It's like that extra aroma and the flavor is gonna go away. It's gonna fade over time. So get into it now. Get into it now. This is the way to go.
All right. Okay. I'll trust you.
So now we're moving on to category 12. So this is all about Centennial hops. Now we're getting into an IPA here. And so those Centennial hops, they're going to bring that balance of citrus and floral, pine notes, and crisp, clean bitterness. So these hops were picked right in the Chilliwack Valley, brewed on the same day. So give it a go.
The fresh hop IPA,
Fresh hop
number
IPA.
93, the Nuge.
The Nuge,
They
right?
should have called it that. They should have called it the Nuge.
Should have called it
What
the
are they
Nuge.
thinking?
right?
They're from BC. They're probably, and Nuge is from BC.
He is from BC.
But they should have had this because it's number 93. Now, the Nuge, I don't know if there's a copyright on that or not, but should have tried it. Fresh hop IPA, the Nuge, number 93. I like the can because the green's my favorite color.
That's fabulous. Oh, a little bit more body to it with the IP, with that Indian pale ale style compared to the pale ale.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much. It's Ooh.
Yeah. Just and a little bit.
I have no joke. Any of our people who are beer drinkers, you got to try some.
You got to try some.
Like I've honestly never had a beer this fresh in my life.
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was such a thing, and I know I repeated that 3 times, but it's true. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Now the can here. This one.
So now we're going to polyrhythm.
High fidelity Cryo Fresh IPA, strong beer, 6.9.
6.9. Yeah. So this Cryo Fresh. So this is like we're going with.
Struddy couldn't handle this beer.
No,
There's
it'd be
no chance.
Too much. Wait till we get to the next one.
Oh, really?
So these ones, the hops are actually it's a new technology. So they flash freeze these hops.
It smells very weird.
They're designed to mimic the intensity of the wet hops. So they're this is brewed with organic floor malted Pilsner from Hogarth Malting here in Alberta. It's layered with Citra hops throughout the fermentation and juicy aromatic. And those cryo hops are just all that concentrated lupulin, which is that yellow waxy substance we talked about earlier.
Yeah, like it tastes. I'll be honest. It tastes way better than it smells.
Yes, and sometimes
like this one is like this is one where don't smell it with your mouth open. Maybe just drink it. Yeah, it does not smell.
Oh yeah, so that's that, but that's that fresh dank hop. If you go back to the house plants, the house plants has that really similar, flavor sort of profile to it as that smell in that high fidel, but it's just not quite as intense.
Yes, no, the high fidel is.
Oh yeah, and some people love that smell. And now, if you like your green stuff,
yeah, see, yeah, you know what? Actually, now that you say that, I could. Yeah, that's maybe why it's called high fidelity. Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
All right.
But that flavor is.
Yeah, Spicoli would love this one.
Spicoli,
you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. Now that you say that, it's totally a little
in there.
Gungy.
Yeah.
Oof.
And
then we got last here.
Last but not least. So this is the Driftwood Sartori Harvest Fresh Hop IPA.
Again,
this is
they're killing it with some of these cans.
This is the crown jewel of fresh hop beers.
So really?
This is Driftwood Brewing.
Really? That one's a little bit darker.
Out on the
amber.
Yeah. And this is they're out on the island. And they get these hops freshly harvested from the Sartori hop farm. They get flown in and they are into the beer in well under 24, like closer to 12 hours typically. They are rush flown in for this once a year.
I didn't know this is such a process.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's amazing.
And and it's expensive and so it is a lot of process. They put in an incredible amount of hops into these things too to get all that in there. I think you'll see some of these, it's nearly 100 kilograms of fresh pick hops sometimes for some of these. That's an awful lot of hops to go into a vat, right?
Yeah.
So this beer here, super limited every year. And for years, we couldn't even get it here in Alberta. We just started getting it in the last few years, which is really, really exciting because it was always one of my favorite. And I used to have to get my parents on the island to buy me a 12-pack of when they used to be in the Palmer bottles and bring it to me at Thanksgiving kind of thing. But so this is it. This is 7%. It's a big beer, but just full bursting of flavor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and that aroma.
Yeah. Oh yeah. After dank fidelity there. No, the aroma is good, but the taste is top notch, man.
It's top notch.
Although I still think the number 93 is my favorite.
It's really great. Yeah.
Of those and the Fields of Plenty. God,
they're
all
good. They're all
real
great.
good choices.
Like this Sartori, to me, this is my favorite out of all. It has been for years, and it's always a little bit different every year, right? It's a crop, so it's always going to be just a little bit different, a little bit changing, depending on weather and all those sorts of things. So, this is
so you're going to have these in store. Like, you got a 6-pack of this? Or
no, we don't have a 6-pack. They're all singles right now, but they're 6-pack or singles or 4-packs at the OG. Singles more so at the Otwell. But if you want to make a 4-pack,
and they're literally there for probably 3 weeks.
They'll maybe be there for another couple weeks. Yeah,
couple weeks. Okay, so anybody out there, you want to try the fresh hops? So just stop in and ask them. Say, hey, I want to try some of your fresh hop beers.
Exactly. We're super lucky. We get a lot of the stuff allocated to us. So you know, we're guaranteed to get it and get it in for as much as we can for long. So, well, it's there. Get into it. Get into it now.
It is. Any of our beer drinkers out there, if you just like a little bit crisper, a little fresher, it is very good.
Yeah.
Man. Ooh, very good.
Very good.
Love it. Dave, good stuff, buddy. I like it. Something I've never tried before. It's very good. Very good.
More learning today. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Go to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. 2 locations, Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Lots of great local food, and they got 200 chef-prepared meals for you. Eat healthier, eat better. Loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
9 games on the ice tonight in the NHL. Sens in Boston. Got the Sabres taking on the Blues. Canadians in Jersey. Canes host the Wildcats, meet the Penguins. Stars in Ducks. Lightning taking on the Golden Knights. The Panthers in Los Angeles. In the NFL, Week 10 kicks off with the Broncos hosting the Raiders. That one gets going at 6:15 from Denver in the association. Just 1 game tonight. Suns and Clippers meeting down in the desert. Tip-off 7 o'clock. College football tonight. South Florida takes on UTSA at 5:30. Also at 5:30, App State hosting Georgia Southern. And on the hard court at the collegiate level, number 3 Florida taking on North Florida just after 6. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Colin Livingston for the Cantork Racing Report. We'll also hear from Alan May and talk Alexander Ovechkin and his 900th career goal. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit us up at Sports 1440 or Oilers Nation, either one. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And Sports 1440, we'd very much appreciate it to keep building the numbers. And when we get to 1.5, we got a giveaway, and then we got more giveaways, more people. So tell a friend, go hit the subscribe button. Very easy. And if you're already one the people subscribing, we're going to have like a prize pack only for subscribers, which will be good. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers traveling home today. They will bit back on the ice tomorrow. And then, of course, they play Colorado at home on Saturday. Columbus is in town. That's a 6:30 start next, 6:40, let's be honest, next Monday night against the Blue Jackets. And then the Oilers on the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Well, yeah, they'll be singing that song because they head back out on the road for their season-long 7-game road trip. They will be in Philly next Wednesday, then Columbus. So they play Columbus 2 out of 3 games. Then they're in Carolina, then Buffalo, Washington, and Tampa. So Philly and Columbus are back-to-back, then a day off. Then they go to Carolina, day off, Buffalo, day off. Then Washington, Tampa, back-to-back, day off. And then a rematch with the Florida Panthers on the 22nd of November. So we'll see where it goes. And there is a game to watch for on the 15th of November. Tampa and Florida. Remember last time in the preseason what happened? They had the big melee, and something tells me that game could be juicy. Real juicy. Then the Oilers are home for 1 game against Dallas. Right? They play Florida on the Sunday. They don't play again until the Tuesday, and then they have 3 more days off. And then they got another road game, but it's kind of a weird sked. Home for 1, road for 1. Then the Oilers will get a little bit of home cooking. They'll play 5 games to start the month of December at home, and then they're back out on the road for another 5-gamer. And then they finish off with 2 home games before Christmas. So after Christmas, though, the Oilers, their schedule becomes a lot friendlier. I'm looking at, I think they have 1 3-game road trip at the end of February and a 4-gamer in March. And that's pretty much it. So a lot of home games. And then they knew this coming in. Everybody knew it. They're done the Eastern Conference before Christmas, which has never happened in franchise history, which is pretty wild. So there you have it. We've got a lot of text coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greggs, has any team played more road games than the Edmonton Oilers to date? Well, the Oilers have been on the road for what? 9? Is it 9 games already on the road for the Edmonton Oilers this year? Yeah, it's 9. And I don't think a team's played more than the Oilers. They played 9. Canucks have played 9. The Flames, like it's all the lots of the Western Conference teams have played the same amount of road games as the Oilers.
Penguins, Utah as well.
Yeah. So you can't use the road sked in case you're wondering. As that, like, look at the Penguins. They're 5-3-1. Vancouver's 5-4. Calgary's 2-6-1. Edmonton's 2-5-2, and Utah's 5-4. So yeah, the difference is the Oilers just haven't been good on the road so far this year. Now they have been good at home, which helps. It's kind of salvaging them because they have points in every home game. Now they've blown. That's the thing. The Oilers at home have the third best or second best points percentage at .833. They're 4-0-2. And they probably could have been 6-0. They blew a 2-goal lead to the Rangers, and they blew a 3-goal lead on opening night to the Flames. So home ice, they've been good. On the road, not so much. So yeah, they will like being at home. They'll have some time off here. It's a short 2-game road trip. And I will say, if you're going to the game on Saturday, I would expect it to be a pretty fast played game. Why? Because the Oilers haven't played since Tuesday, and the Colorado Avalanche are in. I'm not even sure. Do the Avs even? I got to double check. I know the Avs If they did, their last game was Tuesday. It might have even been Monday. I have to double check. But they've had, they played Tuesday. Right. So both teams, 3-day break. They should come out firing on Saturday night. There's already a lot of speed between the two teams anyway. McKinnon, McDavid leading the way. Got a lot of other guys that can really move. So I'd be excited. Hey, Greg's, what was the third beer? It's called Fields of Plenty from Mark the Keeper. I'd recommend it. Recommend it. It was very good. Very, very good. Hey, Greg's, one of my favorite segments, Thursday. Whoever heard of Fresh Hops beer? I'm going to definitely try that out from Mark in St. Albert. Hey, Mark, you're with me, buddy. I never heard of it either. Cons, had you?
No clue. No clue it was even a thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. We had so many people texted in about, I was today years old. I learned about Fresh Hops. Well, I'll tell you honestly, go try it. And the great part is you can buy a single. If you're like, nah, I'm not sure I'm going to like it. Well, then just buy a single. Trust me. It's like pizza. Even the worst pizza is still pretty good. You'll eat it, right? How many leftover pizzas have you had for, especially when you're a young bachelor? How many days would you have pizza in your house for? 3? And you kept eating it? No problem. So,
do you think it changed you though? You're going to be like, these hops aren't fresh.
Well, it's sure. Yeah. I might be a Fresh Hops guy from now on. I'll be like, what's this? What are these hot pellets?
Yeah, what is this?
I'm not drinking hot pellets anymore. But the crazy part is it's a limited time because of the whole brewing process. That 24 hours max to get them in the beer, baby. I like it. You got to rush it. It's fantastic. So. Hey, Greg, did you see OKC lost last night? Yeah, I did. It's unfortunate. But what did I say? Portland was the one team because Portland had come in scoring 120 points a game. So you kind of had to respect them. But yes, OKC was not going to challenge for the NBA record. But you win 8 out of every 9 games all season long, you'll be doing pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, that put you 64-8, 72-9. Could you imagine? Basically what the Bulls did when they went 72-10. That's basically what they did. Right? You went 8-1 out of every 9 games. Wild. Absolutely wild. Hey, Gregor, what are your thoughts on the report coming out that Hoffman might not be back with the Jays? Well, man, closers are like middle relievers. It's really hard from year to year, outside of a few, to know exactly what you're going to get. And I know a lot of people, because Hoffman blew a few saves. In the playoffs, he was very good. I know he gave up one untimely home run. I get it. And you know what? He owned it. It's hard to, if you look at Hoffman's performance in the playoffs, it's hard to say, okay, our closer is going to be better next time. Honestly, it'd be hard to do. Like, I'll pull up his numbers from the Jays, but if you look at his pitching numbers, man, in the postseason, they're very good. You can't really complain about it. He had a 1.46 ERA. 1.46 as a closer. That's pretty good. The only guy lower was Bassett. Right? He gave up 6 hits. He gave up 2 runs in the playoffs. Like Jeff Hoffman, everybody always likes to. I kind of find it just like social media lazy fans. Hey, I'll call out lazy media guys, no problem. I'm going to call it lazy fan. Oh, Hoffman cost us. No, he didn't. Might not have got there if it wasn't for him. He'd given up 1 run in the playoffs until that game. 1 as a closer. Had 18 strikeouts in 12 innings. Like, he was very good in the postseason. You tell me you're going to find a closer next year in the playoffs who's going to be better than that? Come on. You can't just pick out, wow, he gave up 1 hit. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. The whole playoffs or the entire playoffs. It sucked the one he gave up. Don't get me wrong. And by the way, he didn't shy away from it. I got a lot of respect for a guy like that. I hope he doesn't carry that with him. You heard what he said, I cost us the World Series. You should never think that because you didn't. Because you could say, hey, what about how many times I had runners on base and didn't cash them in? And they had way more chances to cash guys in than Hoffman had to give up that home run. So it's unfortunate. Like, hey, Greg's, how long do those hot beers last? Can I get them for Christmas Day? James, Well, James, like Dave said, they'll taste the best sooner. You can buy it and then have it on Christmas Day, and it'll be good, but it won't be as good as if you have it in the next 3 weeks. That's what he said. So you'll still like it on Christmas Day, but they probably won't be in store, number one, on Christmas Day. So you could buy it and keep it in your fridge, and it'll still be good. It'll still be different, but it won't be as fresh. Just how it goes. Hey, Greg, it might sound ridiculous, but I wonder if the Oilers might take a look at their D pairings. Their zone exits are messy. Not only D, and I think it's a product of different personnel. Might one consider Bouchard and Kulak, Nurse, Regula, and Wallman and Ekholm. Solid puck mover on each. Seems like 5-man units are disconnected in all 3 zones. What are your thoughts, Ryan from Saskatchewan? I don't think Knobloch's going to change all 3 D pairs, right, at this point. I'd be surprised, but like the Bouchard Ekholm one's been pretty solid for a long time. Like they had a rough start, no question, but they've kind of started to get their act together here. So I'd be surprised is all I'll say. I think if you change all 3, that it might be construed in the room as a little bit of a panic move. So I would guess, you wouldn't, you might not do it. Hey, Greg's not sure if you talked about him already, but what kind of impact do you think Andy Slaggert will have with the recruiting side of the franchise? Well, as far as recruiting goes, like he knows all the college players, so it can help, but you also, the players have to be realistic, right? Like if I'm a young player and I'm coming out of college, I want to get solidified in the NHL. I'm not worried my first year about being on a winner. I want to ensure that I can play in the league and get 12, 14 minutes a night. And the truth is, it's going to be hard to do that on cup contending teams, not just Edmonton. Florida, difficult to do. Tampa Bay, tough to do. Dallas, Carolina, go down the list. Like the odd guy can do it, yes. I'm just saying it's harder. And so, like if you're a center iceman, like, come on, no chance. Now, if you're a scoring winger, especially if I'm Andy Slaggert, the number one thing I'm looking for in the organization is I'm going to try to find a guy who's got some skill, who plays with bite, because they just don't have a lot of those guys. And the truth is, there's not many of those guys around the league, but the Oilers haven't had one of those very often. And those I don't care how many goals he scores. I really don't. Right? To think he's going to be a 25 goal scorer and do it, well, that'd be amazing. But it's, heck, be a 12, 13 goal guy who can get the other team annoyed and get the other team fired up. Right? Like Clattenburg might be that guy. He's in his first year of pro. And man, that guy's engine is always revving in the red. You never have to worry about him showing up for a game. And I do think that matters. I think that can be infectious, because usually when you have a player like that, it brings more energy and emotion into the game, because now he's hitting the other team. He's chirping at the other team, and it rises the emotion in the game. And guess what? It's impossible not to feel that. And all of a sudden guys look around, and if everybody on the other team is beaking or yapping at one of your guys, there's a little bit of a pack mentality. Now you're like, hey, wait a sec. Let's get that. Hey, Gregor, Maroon was the last quality skill player with bite on the Oilers. Mac. What? You don't think Evander Kane had bite, Mac? What are you talking about? No. Patrick Maroon had a great year in Edmonton. Go look at his career stats anywhere else. Evander Kane is infinitely more skilled player and has just as much bite as Maroon, and actually he hits way more than Pat Maroon. Pat Maroon doesn't really hit anybody because he can't get there. And that's fine. He's a good soldier, but I'd take Evander Kane all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Heck, I'd take Corey Perry at his age over Pat Maroon. I don't think he was the last guy at all. I would definitely take those other guys for sure. Hey, Greg's, you're bang on. The Jays offense, I think, cost them that game. Too many guys left on base. Bottom line. It's true, Titan. I wholeheartedly agree. Right now, that's what sucks about a one-game Game 7. And they did everything right, but cashing in the big hit at the right time. What were they? 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position? That's the game. That was the game. It sucks. It's brutal. They hit unreal the rest of the playoffs. Just in that one. And it's not like the pitching was dominant against them in game 7. They got a lot of runs, a lot of guys, a lot of runners on base. They just couldn't cash them in. It's unfortunate. Now, speaking of cashing in, no one has cashed in more goals in the regular season than the Grade 8. Alex Ovechkin got to 900 last night. Pretty big accomplishment. They left the bench for his 900th goal. First player in NHL history to get to 900. He might be the only one. Right? Like, if you look at active players, like there's no one close. The 2 best scorers in the NHL today who are younger are Matthews and Draisaitl, and they each have 409. They're 481 goals away from 900. And Draisaitl just turned 30. Now, maybe because Ovi just did it, could Draisaitl match? And even if he does, let's say he matches Ovi's production in his 30s. Ovi scored 422 goals in his 30s. And did you know, Connor Halley, September 17th, 1985, September 17th, 1997, the birthdays of Ovechkin and Matthews, same day, 12 years apart. And that's pretty eerie. Matthews he's younger than Draisaitl. He has 409 goals. So theoretically, he might have a better chance. Now, he doesn't have the track record of staying as healthy as Leon Draisaitl does. But like Crosby's at 634. Crosby might get to 700 goals, right? Because he's going to play a few more years. So he might get there, but he ain't getting 800. No chance. And then after that, like Corey Perry, no. Patrick Kane, no. Steven Stamkos, God, no. Right? Like the 2 best chances to get to even 800 are Draisaitl and Matthews. I think Draisaitl and Matthews, I would put it down today. I think they're locks to get to 700. But how much more? I don't know. 800 would be unreal. But you'd have to have a phenomenal 30s for both Draisaitl and Matthews to get to 800 goals. So I think 700 is very realistic. That's 281 goals for each guy. You look, Draisaitl's got 7 more years at that, right? You're scoring 40 goals a year on average. You'll get there to 700. And that doesn't even include this year. So he'll get there. I think Matthews, even with his injury woes, he'll probably get there. But man, 900, it's crazy to think like 700 is a monumental number. Like it is massive. And then Ovi's like, yeah, 700, it's pretty good. But how about 900? Pardon? What did you say? 900 goals? Like, you'd be laughing to ask a player. Like, Leon Draisaitl would look you in the eyes and think you're a moron if you think he's going to score 900 goals. He would. He'd be like, what are you talking about, 900 goals? I didn't get 900 goals. Right? Like Ovi did, and that's what's so great about it. Like, there's only 8 guys to date who have ever scored 700. And obviously 3 who got to 800. So I do believe, though, that Crosby has a chance to get to 700. He's at 634, so he needs 66 more goals, right? I think he's got a decent shot. And then Draisaitl and Matthews. Maybe Pasternak. Maybe. But 700 is hard. Take a quick break. We'll talk about 900. The Capitals, they got some serious injury problems. We'll discuss that and more. And Logan Thompson, should he be Canada's starting goaltender at the Olympics? Find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter watches the big game. Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter?
The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Drain Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch! Wow! Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter. For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off. And with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show November 15th and 16th at the Edmonton Expo Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Get valuable advice at free seminars and learn how you can open a successful business. This is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at Edmonton's only franchise show, presented by Quick Bite, November 15th and 16th, Edmonton Expo Center. Get tickets at edmontonfranchiseshow.com.
Wendy's most important deal of the day has a fresh lineup. Pick any 2 breakfast items for $4. New 4-piece French toast sticks, bacon or sausage wrap, biscuit or English muffin sandwiches, small hot coffee, and more. Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.326, welcome back. Jason Gregor. Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Some bad news just coming down for the Sharks. Young Michael Misa has been placed on injured reserve, so he will be out for the foreseeable future, at least 2 games. So we'll see how many more for him. But young guys and injuries in the NHL, that is not new or uncommon by any stretch of the imagination. Now, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And you only got a few days left to cash in and peel like a winner. That's right. Monopoly is here, but only till the 10th of November. And you can peel when you get it. And then you can also get the app and try your luck again only at McDonald's. And then you get your second chance through the app. As we are joined by former Edmonton Oilers, longtime analyst of the Washington Capitals, one guy who I think has maybe seen every one of Alex Ovechkin's 900 regular season goals, and that was a pretty nice 900th goal last night. Nifty backhand. Alan May joins us. Alan, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be with you. And I wish I'd seen every goal, but you know, I joined the broadcast about 3 years into it. I saw a bunch in person beforehand, but it's been amazing. It's been absolutely incredible to be a part of it.
Okay, so you've seen about 775 then, give or take. So still not bad, not bad at all. You look at Ovechkin. Let's start with him. And obviously, it's a huge milestone. No one's ever hit it. The guys clear the bench, which I thought was good because people were wondering, well, you think they'll do anything? I'm like, it's 900 goals, man. Like it's a massive milestone. I was looking. Like the only guy, like I'm not sure any of them are going to do it, to be honest, because I was calculating what Ovi did in his 30s, for goodness sakes. In his 30s, he had 422 goals in 750 some games. It's just like Draisaitl and Matthews are the only two who have a chance. And I think they'll get to 7, but I don't think either one of them is even going to get to 8, maybe. Never mind 9.
Oh, yeah, well, it's always tough to handicap on that. But you know what? The biggest thing with Ovechkin has been the consistency of how he scored these goals. And as you went from 300 to 600 to 900, it was almost the same amount of goals or the same amount of games played for every one of them. And then you just take, by those games and everything else, the same amount of goals at home as on the road. He's actually got more road goals, I believe. And there's so many numbers, you kind of get drunk with it sometimes. And, we're in a numbers-based game now. It's a lot like baseball. It's like everything's about the numbers, and it's not as simple as it used to be because they've got how many goals he scored on a Tuesday night, and it's just all types of garbage that's out there. But the consistency for him, how he scored every 300, is absolutely and utterly amazing.
Yeah, it is. Like he is. Yeah, it's pretty damn impressive. It's hard to argue what he's done at this stage of his career. Now the Caps. But let's start with the good news. Logan Thompson, like right now, if Team Canada didn't have him on the roster, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like he has played unreal from afar. How good has he been for a guy watching every night?
He is the team right now. He is the MVP, and every game he's played, he's been sensational, and he's making the game look so easy. And I would say, as far as Canadian Olympic team, as of today, he's got 9 games played. He is the goalie. And I know there's a lot to it. Jordan Binnington, numbers aren't there. Aiden Hill injured. Montembeault, a backup. So when you look at the Canadian guys that have been mentioned, Logan Thompson is the guy, and he's been sensational as a Washington Capital. He was excellent last season. He came out fired up and ready to go this season, and his numbers are staggering. He's got a .938 save percentage, a .145 GAA, and really the only guy in front of him in those numbers basically is Jonathan Quick, who's a backup who only has a few games to his resume right now. So, the body of work for the amount of games he's played, he is the best Canadian goalie right now as far as performance is concerned. So if you're going to meritocracy, he's got to be on that team.
Yeah. Wow. What have you liked about his game the most?
You know what? It's puck tracking. And he looks a lot bigger than he is, the way he stops the puck, but he's not overplaying. He's economical in his movement. It's kind of abbreviated. So, he doesn't go side to side. We're seeing Jordan Binnington last night, and because his team is so awful right now defensively, he's overplaying everything. He reminded me of a young Braden Holtby. He'd go side to side, but he'd slide out of the net about 3 or 4 feet until they were able to corral him in. And, it's just staying centered to the puck. And then it's almost like he's baiting. The game's in slow motion right now. He's baiting shooters where to go. And he just gives you a lot of confidence. And it's like that at any level of hockey, whether it's youth hockey, whatever. If you believe in your goaltender, you're going to have a lot better performance out of your team. And when he's in net, they somehow seem to play a lot better. And they've been a little bit inconsistent, but he's been the one player that's been on it every game.
Injuries. Pierre-Luc Dubois, how serious is it?
He's going to be out a while. And, it's the second time, air quotes, whatever injury it was happened. And, the way he went down last Friday, it was not good. It was scary looking. And so it's one of those things. You can keep coming back, feel all right. But, if you just keep coming and going in out of the lineup, and he didn't look right being back in the lineup in the first place. So I would say he's going to be out a very extended period of time. And it's going to put the team under a lot of duress, because I don't think anyone's capable on the roster of stepping in and filling his spot, especially the way he was so good for this team last season. There's no noise here in Washington because all the noise is in politics, and the players don't get beat up.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff is really good at the players. They don't sell them out in the media. They don't talk out of the sides of their mouth when the backs are turned. So a guy like that, he loves it here. He's like the happiest guy in the world every single day. And, from the moment I met him, I was surprised, but I had talked to Tortorella and I talked to other guys, and they all loved him. And they said, he's a great kid. And it's just one of those things, you sometimes, it's a little bit unfair, the reputation you get, but I'm telling you right now, these guys love him here. And he played very, very well last year, career high in points, career high in assists. And, maybe if I could say anything wrong about him is he over-rotated to defensive play too much in the playoffs, but no one he went head-to-head with produced any points. But, so he's still a guy that puts team first, and but it's going to be hard, basically impossible, I think, to fill his shoes while he's out.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them. You say it's going to be out a significant period of time. That's obviously, it's not good for them. You do need some other guys to pick it up. Washington, like a lot of the good teams, kind of off to a little bit of a slower start. Now, last night they did wake up. They scored 6 goals. Now, it is against the Blues, and you mentioned they're playing terrible, and they're actually sitting Jordan Kyrou tonight, which is a story in itself, I would think, kind of illustrates how bad they are. But when you just kind of evaluate the Capitals' start, what would you say? What's your takeaway for their start of the season?
Well, I would say that they have a lot of forwards who are not playing well. And, the defensemen have been excellent no matter who's been in the lineup. The goaltending's been solid, but you're not getting enough out of the forwards right now. And I look at their third line. It was the same question mark last year and this year. So you've got, like Edmonton's going through this with some of their younger players. Ryan Leonard, the biggest thing with Savoy and Howard and Edmonton's going to be, first of all, you got to learn how to be, you've got to learn the defensive nuances of the game. And, there's a lot of education, because I guarantee these players weren't getting, top-notch coaching on how to play without the puck wherever they were. A lot of the better collegiate players, they're just opening the door. The big coaching hack is what they're doing on the power play. And you can see a lot of flaws in their game. And I saw, I watched a lot of Ryan Leonard play of his games last year, and I thought he was making a lot of mistakes, and there was a lot of immaturity in his game, but he could just skate through everybody.
Right.
So he could make 3 mistakes, go down the ice, score a goal, and ended up scoring 30 plus last season. And then at the World Juniors, I thought he made a lot of mistakes, and somehow he walked out of there as the player of the tournament. So he's learning every game. So you've got to learn the learning curve, and then you got to learn how to play every night and be consistent. So, that's the biggest thing with these younger players. And the collegiate guys, whatever they get when it's all said and done, 30, 45, 50 games, it's a little different than playing 3-4 days a week. And right now we're in a condensed schedule. So they've had that. Connor McMichael has wanted to play center, so they threw him there. He's only got 1 goal right now. He's not a playmaker. He's still not very, defensively responsible with the puck when he's playing the center ice position. I thought that he was excellent at left wing. And, it's one of those things where a guy wants to play position because he was effective there. But I always say, if you want to play center, and this goes for anyone, not just, you want to play center, you can go play in Hershey. They play tomorrow. The puck drops at 7, or you can play left wing here in the top 6. So when everything gets settled here, I think he needs to play at left wing, and he's going to turn into a goal scorer. He's a guy that gambled on himself with his contract, and right now he's got 1 goal through 13 games. So they've got some players that look like they're worried about their next contract, so they've been a little flat. So by and large, you've got a couple of forwards who are really going, and the other guys have been inconsistent and struggling.
Alan May joins us, analyst for the Washington Capitals. Tom Wilson is one guy who's been going. He's been their best player, leads them in goals, leads them in points, been very physical. Last night with the GM of Team Canada in attendance, he had himself quite the game. I actually had him on my roster that we do on the daily face-off rundown, myself and Mike Grupp, when we do our shows. And I had him on my Team Canada roster. Big, can skate, he's physical. He's figured out, Alan, how to play physical without taking the needless penalty anymore. And I think that's a real skill. Well, it's hard to play physical and not cross the line sometimes.
Yeah. And, this day and age where you got 17 cameras in game, and then you've got the noise of social media, the villain was always made out a lot worse than he really was. Because when you look at him, he's usually a guy in the 100 penalty minute area. It's not like a guy that's been racking them up and he's been sub 100 most of the seasons, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. Last year, he barely hit 100. He scored 33 goals. But he is a mountain of a man. He is 6'4", probably 4% body fat. He is absolutely jacked. He's in his 30s now, and his skating has gotten better the last 2 years. He blew his knee out a couple years ago. Then it takes a year or so usually when you have those, I can't remember if he had surgery. Yeah, he did have a surgery. Comes back, heals, and it takes a while. And his skating has improved the last 2 seasons. He is the fastest player on this team. He gets to the puck before anyone. And a lot of those races are also won because players do not want to go get him. But, he's doing a better job at angling, but it's the same thing. Everyone had him pigeonholed. And I always thought he should have went to the American League first and got some tutelage there. Same with Andrei Burakovsky, but they came up and it took a little while. I thought he was misused at the start of his career, and he probably could have done all this a little bit earlier. But I am 1,000% with you. He should be on the Canadian Olympic team roster. When you watch him play every single game, and this isn't bias, I'm only imagine what it would be like to see him on a line with Connor McDavid, because he's got the speed. He can shoot while he's skating. He's got the size. Connor can carry the mail. He can keep up with Connor, and he's a different type of skater, but he's improved. He continues to improve his overall game and all of his skill set. And it would be a shame if he wasn't on that team. And I think, one of the spot, like a Zach Hyman being injured as long as he has, that throws a wrench in it there. But, you need top 6 guys. You need bottom 6 guys. He's in that middle 6 category, but you can throw him around the lineup. You see here what he's done as a top tier guy. It's been excellent.
Well, I think he's shown it, right? Like, he can skate, he can score, he's physical. Like, you got a big guy that can do it all and doesn't take penalties. It's a no-brainer to me. I don't care that Tom Wilson, I know they're worried about the IHF, and, well, you can play physical. He doesn't take a lot of headshots in the NHL. He'd be on my team, no question, because of the way he's producing. Like, when you bring an element that not a lot of guys bring, I would have him on my team for sure. What about, how is John Carlson's season going?
John, he's been playing very well. He's so reliable. And, if the guy wasn't anchored here with 4 kids, and say the Caps, they were at the deadline and it didn't look like they were going to make the playoffs, he would be the piece that you bring in, the big right-handed defenseman. He leads the team in ice time for defenders, and he plays penalty kill, plays power play. He can move the puck. He's strong as an ox. So I'm big on him and the way he plays. And, it's funny. There are a lot of guys have come and gone from here, and they were the next best, greatest thing, the best defensive guy that, all of a sudden, didn't throw a hit and all this. But John Carlson's been the steadiest player the entire time. He got better in the last half of his career. I thought he did a very good job of improving his overall game with Barry Trotz and Todd Reardon when Reardon was the defense coach. And, Reardon had a knack, and he worked very well with all the Caps defenders. And I just thought John has continued to improve. He plays every game. He's got kind of a snarl. He gets irritated and agitated out there, and he plays with a lot of emotion. But, last night scored a beautiful goal, and, he didn't like the way they played on the weekend. And I thought yesterday he was the driver of the intensity and the emotion in that game. And he went out there, and he's the guy that kicks ass in the dressing room. It's he and Wilson. Ovechkin just walks up to you. Those two guys will rip a strip off you, and the teammates love him. And so, he's just a big defender that's got the game figured out like most older players. He's worked hard. He hasn't lost a step. He's got a great long stride that can keep up with anybody. So, I'm still big on him. He's been healthy a couple years ago. His kneecap was on the other side of his knee, and he couldn't shoot the puck, but he still continued to play, and then had it taken care of during the off season. But, I can imagine if the Oilers had him, there'd be a lot of the things they're worried about would be gone, because he just keeps the game simple and produces.
Al, always good to catch up with you quickly. Early on the season, any teams jumping out with you that maybe weren't playoff teams last year that you're suddenly high on?
Well, we play them tonight. We play the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it really bothers me, all the hacking that's gone on. And we're supposed to hate the Penguins, but I've loved when you take the players that they have on their team, the Malkin, Crosby. I should say Crosby first, because he to me is still the best all-around center in the National Hockey League. His compete is absolutely incredible. The way he fights for pucks, the way he goes to the net, the way he shoots, he competes every single game. So them being up there, they're kind of like the Caps last year. But, more than the roster, they're being led by Letang, Carlson stepped up. And I think they're all pissed off over the amount of, they're going to be the worst team in the league, and they've really stepped up. So that, and I love to see what Montreal is doing right now. And even the Detroit Red Wings, they've got these players that can skate, that they're putting it together, and they're coming to play every night. And Montreal, probably the most exciting team to watch in the National Hockey League. The get up and go with them is sensational. So I'm really big on those guys on this side. And then Anaheim, they're kind of must-watch late-night TV for me. It's a 3-hour time difference, but I'm making sure that I watch them, and I can't get enough of watching this Celebrini kid, man. He's something else.
Oh, dude, he's very good. Yeah, he's another guy who's pushing to say, hey, I'm over here. I should be, Canada's got, and anybody who suggests that Canada is not producing good young players might need to look around the league. Nick Suzuki, Celebrini, there's more. Matthew Schaefer, for goodness sakes, made it. Drew Doughty made the Olympic team at 20 in Canada, where there's way more pressure. 2010. The way Schaefer started, I know it's a long shot, but I wouldn't rule him out as the number 8 defenseman at all. He's been amazing.
He is the personality of the team, and he's kind of brought the Islanders together too, because a couple times now he's been punked behind the scenes, and everyone on the ice has jumped in and defended him. I think that's a great sign for the New York Islanders. He's dazzling. It's hard to take your eyes off him the way he plays, and him. I think Celebrini has to be on that roster. He's leading the NHL in points with McDavid. And you look, when you watch what he did in Madison Square Garden a couple of weeks ago, sensational. And he competes on both sides of the puck. So I'm loving what I'm seeing out of these young guys. And Canada's got some tough decisions, but you can never go wrong with having all those centers. And you look at, Celebrini, McDavid, McKinnon, Scheifele, I think this time is making, he's making it hard for them not to have him there. So, I know that we love certain players, but you got to get the buy-in from guys, how they're going to play the game. But I'm big on those, and it's hard. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of upset people when they do pick that team, but I'm looking forward to that. Not too much of a hurry, because I will still want to enjoy my NHL season. But the Olympics, hopefully Canada makes they such a colossal error last year with the World Junior team that hopefully they get this Olympic roster correct.
Yeah, hopefully. Al, great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you again soon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jace. Take care.
There you go. That is Alan May joining us talking some Washington Capitals. We got a lot of texts coming in. We'll get to those. Many of you still wondering about the Fresh Hops beer. We'll get to that and more. And we'll speed things up. And we're going to talk about who costs you the most next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Hey there, this is your wake-up call. It's time to change to your winter tires. Unless you want to be sliding and swerving around icy roads like you're some kind of dummy. Head to Big Toy Shop and get it done right for a great price. We won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. Time to change your tires. Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road. 780-298-2797.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I...
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$350. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram on a Thursday. There's reports. I don't know. Livingston just came in. We'll find out. Reports that it might snow today. Is it snowing outside right now?
It already was this morning.
What?
We had to the West End. I loaded up a race car in the snow this morning.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't just now, but like little bits.
Little flakes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but there's nothing stained.
No,
okay, so there's no white stuff yet on the ground. Let's get to the racing report brought to you by Can Torque, the best way to beat the terrace by Canadian. Can Torque's products are only made in Canada, right here in the City of Champions. Buy local, buy Canadian, cantorque.com. And we're getting down to the final few races. And obviously first place is on the line between the McLaren brothers. But you had the Destructors Championship, Tolo. And it's funny. You've got teammates on opposite ends of the spectrum. UC Sonoda is leading, then Lando Norris. UC Sonoda's had about $3.27 million in damage to his car. Lando Norris is at 2.6, Lance Stroll 2.4, Charles Leclerc 1.8. Like those top three guys are like they're kind of running away with the Destructor Series.
Yeah, it's always interesting this time of year. There's always a couple of these things that come out. It just, the numbers aren't factual, but they're
close enough.
Yeah, I mean the ranking is going to be very close for sure. Yuki's under pressure already. Obviously, being Max's teammate is not an easy thing to do, but if you're going to struggle on track, the number one thing you can do is bring the car back in one piece. And when you're struggling and you're causing damage, it's the writing's on the wall for Yuki. There's a lot of talk that he might be moving to IndyCar next year already. Science is kind of mid-pack, but Science has had some decent results. But yeah, interesting that the guys like, Max and Lewis, who are consistent performers, are also, down towards the bottom.
Well, it's funny how Max has barely cost his team anything. Well, obviously, when you don't crash, that's going to help your team. George Russell, Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon, and Nico Hulkenberg, I guess, are the 5 cleanest drivers, if we want to put it that way. I'm looking at Brazil, where Max has won it 3 times. Piastri his best was no, he hasn't raced there many times, but still his best is 8th. Where in 2024, and Lando Norris did finish 2nd in 2023 behind Max, who of course has won the last 3. What do you make of like tracks? Is it like golf where certain people are just better on certain courses?
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the track fitting a driver's eye and kind of matching their style. The fact that Red Bull has been so dominant though the last, in this last 5-year period, no surprise that Max has had some success there. I mean, before that it was a Lewis track. Schumacher's done well there. This weekend going to be very, very interesting because they're predicting rain through most of the sessions on Friday and on Saturday, which throws, like last year, was it last year or 2 years ago? I'm a little bit trippy, but where Magnussen took pole because it started dry and then kind of got wet, and he put down kind of the last lap when the track was dry and nobody really had a shot to catch up to him when it started to rain, and he ended up with the pole there. Very cool. But it'll also mix up the field, and this is also a sprint weekend. So they're going to be racing on Saturday, potentially in the rain, and then have to qualify after that. So if somebody does some damage, they've only got a finite amount of time before they can fix it. This should be a really, really interesting weekend.
So yeah, somebody who does, you being there, you're helping out. So they got to race one day in the rain and then the next day they don't. What can you take from qualifying if you know it's going to be dry the next day, but you're qualifying in the rain?
Just depends how the rules are set up, because if you have to qualify in the rain, your car is basically, you have to set your car up because it's parc fermé. So you have to figure out how much you want to compromise for qualifying to blend into the race, or if you just want to throw everything for the race or throw everything into qualifying. They do a lot with their ride heights and how much downforce they make. They'll throw the wings to maximum, just to make sure they get ultimate grip. So yeah, these guys are so smart, and they spend so much time running simulations back at the factory. Like, we've talked about it before, but literally 24 hours, there's somebody in the simulator working on the next setups and working on all the permutations and combinations of, if it rains, if it rains light, what do we do to the car? If it rains medium, if it rains heavy, how do we handle all that stuff? So, they've got a really good baseline, but when it comes to actually executing, you were talking about, what was the stat that you used, that the Jays were 3 for 19 with runners in position.
17.
You've got to execute when you've got the chance. And, this weekend, super cool that there's still 3 drivers in contention for the drivers' championship. It's getting tighter and tighter. Max's chances are pretty slim, but he's got the advantage of the fact that the 2 guys in front of him are teammates, and they seem to just insist at keeping themselves at cross purposes. That, I think behind the scenes, they're doing some preferential stuff for Lando versus Piastri. publicly they're coming out, Zach saying, no, I would rather lose the drivers' championship than know that we gave one of our drivers preferential treatment. Like, dude, come on. Like, I don't know. Like, politicians don't BS that badly. And, he's kind of coming out and he would rather lose the drivers than know that no, you would rather win. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I don't know. Maybe he's in the wrong sport.
Yeah. I don't know anybody who wants to lose. That seems a little odd to me for sure. Colin Livingston joins us here in the Cantork Racing Report. One last one for you. You'd sent me a number an engine for Mercedes vehicle. You have it listed around $14 million.
Yeah.
For one engine,
for the season.
For the season.
Yeah.
Okay. So $14 million because they go through how many engines in a season?
I think they're allowed 3 now.
Okay. So still that's doing the math on that.
Yeah.
It's almost $5 million. What is in it? Those engines, why does it cost so much?
There's a lot of engineering, to actually take the parts and pieces and put it together, is very, it's not represented. If you took a look at the parts and pieces that go into a torque wrench and then figure out, why do we charge $5,000 for this thing? It's because there's every tool that we build, just as an example, a $5,000 tool has at least $50,000 to $100,000 of engineering and prototyping that goes into it before we put the parts and pieces into it. And the F1 stuff is exactly the same. But the precision that they have to come up with, the materials they use, they're on another planet. They're taking these little engines that are 1.4 liters, that's,
yeah, it's not
the car in my Malibu is a 2 liter and these guys are making upwards of 900 horsepower out of these
1.4 liter.
Yeah. It's crazy what they execute, and then have to come up with the whole combination between how they generate power from fuel versus how they generate with electricity and how they manage all, it's insane.
But I was surprised, is that per tire or is that the season? Because you had the tires at 2,400, and I'm like, that can't be for the whole year.
No. That's per tire.
Per tire. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That made a little bit more sense.
Yeah. I mean, NASCAR, our sets of tires are under 2,000, but we go obviously we're on a different budget. Our whole budget's $500,000 for the year for an entire NASCAR Canada season. But yeah.
And so each set of tires is $2,000. Well, how many set of tires do you go through?
Set of tires would be $8,000. That would be 2,000 per tire, not per set.
$8,000 per tire.
Per $8,000 per set.
Yeah.
$2,000 per tire.
And how many times do you use it just once and then it's done?
In NASCAR?
Yeah.
2,000 for the set. The only time you kind of reuse tires is if we put a set of tires on towards the end of a race and it doesn't have many laps on, then they become practice tires at another race.
Oh.
But yeah, you take go-kart tires are $350 a set. And until we repaved our track at Warburg this year, we were only getting 2 nights out of a set of tires. So $350
every 2 nights.
Run 2 nights and throw them in the garbage.
Yes. Costly. Nice. All right, buddy. Well, we will find out what happens in Brazil, where it's rained a lot, and it might be raining again this weekend. We shall see. Appreciate it. Have a good week.
I got to say, we might have to alternate weeks, 1 week at my shop, 1 week back here, because broadcasting from my office is way more convenient.
Yeah, that's true. It actually was a good setup there. We had fun. That was good. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
25 years at Cantork. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. It's coming, the white stuff. So we've been putting off that tire changeover. Don't. Fountain Tire has up to 25% off select tires right now. Roll in, say big, and drive out ready for whatever the season throws at you. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
9 games on the ice tonight in the NHL, including the Senators and Boston Sabres host the Blues, Habs, and Devils, Canes up against the Wild. They got the Capitals taking on the Penguins. Stars host the Ducks, Lightning in Vegas, and the Kings hosting the Florida Panthers. The Toronto Blue Jays extending a one-year, $22 million qualifying offer to Bo Bichette ahead of today's deadline. Bichette now has until November 18th to accept the qualifying offer and would net the Blue Jays a comp draft pick if he were to sign elsewhere in his impending free agency. The team also announced that bench coach Don Mattingly leaving the organization to pursue new opportunities in baseball. Week 10 in the NFL kicks off this evening. Broncos and Raiders from Mile High in Denver. That one gets going at 6:15 in the association tonight. Just one game. Suns Clippers in Phoenix. That gets going at 7. College football. South Florida taking on UTSA. You've also got App State hosting Georgia Southern. Both those games beginning at 5:30. And on the hard court, number 3 Florida up against North Florida. Also number 16 Iowa State taking on Grambling. And Merrimack taking on number 20 Auburn. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions. Hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and look around the CFL playoffs with Farhan Lalji of TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
You know your neighbor, right? The one who watches your house when you're away, who keeps their yard looking nice, who says hello every day. That's us. GS Construction. Now, we probably don't live right beside you, but we do live in your community. And when it comes to water and wastewater infrastructure, moving along smoothly, we're the ones doing that work. GS Construction has been doing it since 1974, over 50 years. So you could say we are your neighbors who wear hard hats and work boots. To find out what your neighbors do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99.
326, welcome back,
Better
Jake.
Pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I've got to get 2 cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium fountain drink for $9.99.
Portions of this hour, bro.
Hey, maybe I'll eat one.
Just after 3 o'clock.
And save one for later. Maybe I'll stack them and eat them both at once. Options. Oh, delicious. Delicious.
So 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a cheeseburger meal for just
$50,
$9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great
$8,000 per tire.
Each set of tires,
an entire NASCAR kit is like $500,000 for the year for an entire. Do you use it just time you kind of reuse tires as if
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
through Thursday afternoon. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. The Jason Gregor Show is always brought to you by our good friends at playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You make a $50 deposit, put in the Gregor50 code, and they will match it. Woo-hoo. Pretty good deal, 2 for 1 at playalberta.ca. Also, speaking of good deals, the Daily Grand is today, every Thursday. Your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Not bad. That's $7.3 million at playalberta.ca. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you. We got Spec and LT. Coming up later, Farhandology, the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, who's going to be talking about a prominent local Edmontonian coming up today. Also, we got 5 questions. The Edmonton Oilers, in case you're wondering what's going on with the Oilers, well, they had the day off yesterday. They had their rookie party, and then they flew home today, so that they will be back on the ice tomorrow. And we will know very early in practice tomorrow, because we've had a lot of text at 833-401-1440. Is Zach Hyman going to be ready? We'll find out tomorrow. If Zach Hyman is going to play on Saturday, I would suspect he would then be in one of the top 4 lines in practice. And I'm guessing maybe on the line with Connor McDavid. So if I don't see him as a regular in practice tomorrow on one of the top lines, I'd be surprised he's going to play on Saturday. So you know what? Then they'll wait. The last we heard, the update we had on Hyman and Janmark from head coach Chris Knobloch was the fact that he thought, at the latest, they'd be ready on the road trip. So the road trip starts next Wednesday, which means I guess they could still miss 2 more games, Saturday and Monday against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They actually play the Blue Jackets Monday and Thursday next week, where they have a game against Philly sandwiched in between on the Wednesday. So that's where we're at with the Edmonton Oilers. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where they are hiring. You get a hiring bonus. You get matching RSPs, tuition reimbursement, and a very competitive wage. Apply today at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, a longtime journalist in town. Cam Tate, of course, has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. Never let him slow him down. Been wheeling around the sports world for 45 years. He's always wanted to be in radio, and now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
There are farewells that roar like cannons, and there are farewells that whisper. And on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, inside the Horowitz Event Center at 8900 114 Street, it will be the latter. People will arrive with hats in hand, winter air still clinging to their coats, and they will gather, not out of ceremony or empty tradition, but because their hearts won't let them stay away. This is not just a service. It is an act of remembrance, of gratitude, of quiet admiration. There will be prayers. There will be reflection. There may even be, carefully, like a candle in the wind, laughter. Because memory, when it is sincere, does not exclude joy. It carries it. And soon enough, as naturally as a river finds its bend, talk will turn to hockey. For the man we honor did more than love the game. He built it into the very bones of his home, a hockey dressing room in the basement. Not a collector's gallery, but a place for skates, sticks, the banter of friends, and card games that went well past reasonable hours. Curling found a home in his heart too, and in his checkbook, as he quietly sponsored athletes so they could draw to the button rather than draw from a line of credit. If one searches his name on the vast digital plains of Google, the word that returns first is philanthropist. But that polished word hides the story of a boy who grew up poor and never forgot. So when he hosted a grand fundraising dinner for inner city charities, under chandeliers and white linen, the meal was mac and cheese. Not as a jest, but as a sermon served from a steaming dish. Now to hockey once more. By the way, he was a goaltender for first 57 years, because many of us, after standing in that quiet hall Saturday afternoon, will walk later the same day into Rogers Place. The Oilers will play. And they are here in this city on this ice, because in the late 1990s, when relocation loomed like a storm, he stepped forward, stood firm, and helped keep them where they belonged. And so we say farewell to my very dear friend, Bruce Saville. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Halley, Kruger, Tate. Sports 1440.
Great stuff, Tater. Bruce did so much for the community, and lots of it behind the scenes. A lot of people didn't know about, and obviously was one of the major owners of the OEG that kept the team in Edmonton for so long. Was a huge curling fan, boxing. Man, he supported a lot of local athletes. I would guess there will be a large contingent to pay their respects to Bruce on Saturday, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, coach my kids' hockey team that day, so I won't be able to make it. But send our best wishes to all who will be there. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic celebration of life, which is something that I think has changed a little bit. Is kind of how we celebrate more of the life and have people kind of remember a lot of the great things that people accomplished in their lives, regardless of what you did and who you impacted. Because lots of people impacted, right? Kind of in your own circle. It doesn't, there's very few people that have the opportunity to impact thousands of people, and you make a strong, lasting impression on a few people. That's worth just as much as a little impact on a lot of people. So there you go. And I know, Ales I wouldn't be surprised if Ales Shamsky flew in for that and was there. It wouldn't surprise me at all. He lived with Bruce, spoke. He said it was just monumental in him getting comfortable coming to Canada when he started his NHL career with the Edmonton Oilers as a youngster. Got lots of text line. The text line's hot today. I like it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg says, Tater ever written a book? What's funny? Cam Tate has he did write one book. Yes. I think it's one, maybe two. His book was called Disabled. Hell no, I'm a sit down comic. It was pretty funny, but Tate is a really good wordsmith. I'll tell you that. And he could probably write more, but he does have a book, and I would recommend you can get it from online, Harbor Publishing, just called Disabled. No, I am a sit-down comic. And which is true. Cam used to do stand-up comedy from his wheelchair. He's quite witty, very witty. And he is not afraid to give it to you. Just ask Declan and the con man. I think the young guys around here were kind of at first maybe a little taken aback by Tater, in the fact, because they're kind of like, oh, geez, he's an older guy and he's just going to be all respectful and nice. And no, like Tater is super respectful. Don't get me wrong, but he will throw barbs. He will throw barbs very quickly. I think even Con Man might have been a little surprised by it, Cons?
Yeah. I mean, I heard the stories. Tater's pretty respectful with me, but he knows that I get him Cokes and booster juices every once in a while. So he knows he's got to make sure he respects me.
So you're buying it. So basically, you've paid him for his silence, is what it amounts to.
Yeah.
Declan doesn't get him anything, and then so he takes the brunt of it.
He takes it. Josh is starting to get a little bit more. Declan is, I think, getting him out of here has been helping Declan's cause, and now young Sam as well. But yeah, Josh doesn't do a whole lot to help him. So I think Josh is getting it the worst these days. It's beep you, Josh.
Oh, it's so funny. Well, I've told that story many times about John Shorter when there's a big public. God, it's still one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because there's so many people in the room that never would have expected him. Oh, just how he said it. It was hilarious. Shorty has a pretty good sense of humor. And God, but he goes, man, I was caught off guard. Like he had this really, for those who don't know, they're honoring Cam Tate one night, and John gets up there and he's speaking very eloquently and just raving about what a great guy Cam Tate was. And then Cam wheels up to the microphone, and everyone's thinking he's going to have this nice rebuttal, and he just gets on the mic, F you, John. Oh, so funny. So funny. Hey guys, what's your thoughts? I'm curious on the Elks off season. I'm a diehard Elks fan. I'm interested about the CFL playoffs. What do you think is the biggest decision for the green and gold this offseason? Thanks, from Frank. Good question, Frank. Biggest decision for the green and gold. Well, they're not looking for a head coach. They're not looking for a GM. They're not looking. So they got a lot of the bigger ones in place right now. I guess I'd have to say at the quarterback position, Cody Fajardo, right? Because if you don't have competent quarterback and you can't win, it's just how it goes. Like I don't I'm being told anything on this, but I'm just going off of, almost 25 years of covering sports, and especially football. You don't play Trey Ford in that final game, I don't think Trey Ford's part of the organization next year. So I would say the quarterback position, Cons, would be priority number one. You got another one?
No, not really. I mean, I'm curious to see what happens because we know Ed Hervey, being a former receiver, has known that you don't have to maybe pay over the top to get, productive talent at the wideout position. I'm, interested to see what the offseason looks like at that position. But, I mean, the quarterback has to be the biggest one. Cody Fajardo, I think, was fine to step in there. But if you want to take this team to the next level, you got to have some competition there. I think you need elite quarterback play in the CFL to win football games, and that's what they need, and they haven't had it for a long time.
So there kind of has to be like a younger guy because I don't see a veteran guy.
Yeah, I mean the who's out there? Like last year, Vernon Adams was the guy, and we saw what he did for the Stampeders this past year. But I don't know if that guy's out there. Obviously, scouting, bringing somebody in, trying to find that next CFL quarterback could be a solution. I'm okay with it if it is Cody Fajardo for the year, but I think you still need to find that next guy to take over the position because it does look like Trey Ford and the Elks are going to be going their separate ways.
I would think so. Yes, I would be very surprised if something didn't happen.
And even if it doesn't, we don't know what Trey Ford is. Like, was there growth this year? Watching from the sideline.
Yeah, it's hard to know if there was much growth there because you never get to play.
Well, we won't know until we see him out there on the field again.
Yeah, I'll admit, I still, I think I still think that Trey Ford has potential. Now, I think Trey Ford himself is going to have to maybe look at some of his practice habits and work habits and all those sorts of things. But I still see a guy where I look and say, you know what, his athletic ability gives me reason to believe that he could still be a good quarterback in this league. Now, I might be totally wrong on that. So we'll have to see, but that's kind of where I'm at. Hey guys, I am concerned about Team Canada's goalies. None of the three are sporting gold medal winning numbers. Should Thompson of the Capitals be considered from Spinner? Yeah, 100% Spinner. Logan Thompson for sure is going to be considered. I don't see how you can't. Like, you look at the guys who are there. Aiden Hill, now he's only played 5 games. He's banged up. Right? Jordan Binnington's having an awful season. Montembeault's having even worse of a season. So, Binnington's there for sure because he won 4 Nations, right? And he played really well. So he's automatically going to be one of the 3. It's not a guarantee that he's going to get to play. Right now Logan Thompson and Tom Wilson were like, guess who were they playing yesterday? St. Louis. Maybe a little bit of a message to the GM of St. Louis, who happens to be the GM of Team Canada, to say, hey, we're here. Don't overlook us. And, because there's 13 goalies who are Canadian in the NHL who have played at least 4 games. And so if you go down, and now remember that Aiden Hill's hurt, right? But, you look at Jet Greaves has good numbers, Tristan Jarry, Logan Thompson. Like, I think Thompson's in for sure. I've always said Darcy Kemper would be a guy I would consider too. So if it was Kemper, Thompson, and Binnington, yeah. And I know but the way it's going, all you got to do is get hot in November, December, and January for a goalie. Stuart Skinner plays 3 months and gets hot like he did in 24. He could get consideration for sure. So I think it's wide open. And I don't, at this stage right now, depending on the health of Hill, there might only be one of the goalies from 4 Nations who comes back for Canada. I don't think that would be a real big surprise. Do you? 421, we'll return. Our Handleology will join us. We'll talk a little Canucks. Also, some Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders, as the East and West semifinals are 2 days away. Not semifinals, the finals are 2 days away. We'll discuss that. Also, remember last Friday, Positive Friday, Tim Noel, Connor, came in studio, blew your minds when he was singing live. The Way We Were, he has an evening with Tim. It's a sold-out event, but we have 2 tickets. It's this Saturday out at Festival Place in Sherwood Park. And, it's Motown mixed in with a little Frank Sinatra live show. Like, if you like music, they got horns, they got back. They got a procession that's going to be unreal. So if you want to go, and you can go for sure to Festival Place this Saturday, you got to come. We got the tickets here, so you got to come to the station, pick them up. Just letting you know. So you'd have to come tomorrow to pick up the tickets. Okay? Because we can't transfer them to you. They're like old school. Got them in my hand, and it comes with a gift certificate too, to go for restaurant for dinner. So that's nice. So 833-401-1440. If you can go 1,000%, we don't want to waste these tickets. Sold out venue. Make sure you can go 833-401-1440, and we'll pick someone to go to see Festival Place for a great show on Saturday night. Big thanks to Tim for the tickets to that sold out event. Should be awesome.
More fruit?
Check.
Satisfying texture?
Check.
3 amazing new recipes?
Check, check, check.
Let Booster Juice bowl you over with something completely different. 3 new acai bowls, loaded with delicious toppings, including beef
tires on
pulp,
towards the
cacao
end of a
nibs,
race,
and
and it
shredded
doesn't have,
coconut.
yeah, you take
Piled
like
high on top of a
go-karts,
refreshing blend of authentic
It's rained a
acai
lot,
straight
and
from
like
Brazil.
week back here. It was like,
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
25 years.
Booster Juice,
Hi.
Canada's
Fountain
original
Tire
juice and
40
acai
update.
bowl
Brock
bar.
Sports.
You've got
Let's
a
get to
go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings. And
you listen to Jason Gregor Show, presented by
Mr. Dirk. Elevate your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Are you ready, Gene?
Ready? I'm not just here to make a thermo a couple of bucks. I'd never just microphone it in.
Take 1.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for furnace season.
What's not to love? With no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year.
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike a furnace, I have no filter.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrion's weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at OnTheRocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
427. Welcome back. Positive Friday. It's tomorrow. Today. It's avoiding Thursday. I know there's lots of talk about the snow, but I don't know, depending on where you're at. Is anybody out there with snow in and around the Edmonton area? Like actual on the ground, not you saw a little few flakes in the air, but melted on contact. So I know it's coming. Seems to be, but we will. We'll see. Hopefully not. Will there be snow in Saskatchewan? I haven't looked at the forecast, but last I read, didn't think so, which is good because you know what, it's playoffs, and I'd like it. You get this close, you want to try to avoid the cold stuff if you can. As we get to our football report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where their rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Farhan Lalji from the CFL on TSN joins us, and Farhan, Saskatchewan and BC. I think BC has been, Saskatchewan's been the best team all year. BC arguably has maybe been the best team for the last 6 or 7 weeks. And, momentum's a big thing. I guess let's look at the health factor of these two teams coming in. What's the biggest concern health-wise, if any, on either squad?
Yeah, for the Lions, it's probably going to be James Butler, their running back, who I do expect to play. And this is a similar situation to what he went through last week. Last week, he didn't practice the first 2 days. They got him involved a little bit, but that was probably more to just kind of test out the pain management to make sure that it was what they wanted for the game. This week, they didn't have him do any of that. He didn't take any reps at all. I did talk to him briefly. He says he's feeling better at this point this week than he did last week and fully expects to play. McInnes and Peters, been kind of listed as limited here and there, but they're both going to play for sure. And then the interesting stuff is on the Saskatchewan side. Keyshawn Johnson, their star receiver, I think is a long shot. He didn't do anything day one, was limited day 2 and 3. So they're going to hold out hope and make him a game time decision. But my gut tells me he's probably not going to play. And, if you're Saskatchewan, I don't think you need to worry about it. Like, this team has had 9 receivers, not running backs catching passes, 9 actual receivers that have caught at least 15 passes. 7 of them have caught 30. So they've got so much depth that they've had to use this year. And then Roland Milligan started slow in the practice week, but has been a full participant the last 2 days, and not a guarantee, but he's trending towards playing. And I think they need him because I think that defensive secondary is a group that has shown there are yards to be had there. So they got to be full speed.
Are you expecting a high scoring game?
I'm not. And just because that's the playoffs, and it just generally isn't, right? And like even with the BC Calgary game, okay, you could look at 33-30 and think it was a semi-high scoring game, but for BC, 13 of those points came directly from special teams.
Yeah.
With returns and the fumble and things like that. So I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing like a 28-24 type of game where you make your plays, you drive the ball, defense is stiffen up in the red zone, so you might get yards. I just don't think it's going to be a shootout point-wise.
Do you think the lower, does BC's defense, can they keep it low scoring? Do you think that, I think BC has enough offense to win. I guess the question is, do you think their defense is good enough to limit Saskatchewan?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Calgary got 30 points, which is the most BC has given up in the last 7 weeks. So, during their streak, they've done a pretty good job of limiting even some high-powered offenses. So, in Saskatchewan, you can't say that because Trevor Harris didn't play much more than like a quarter and a half when they played the last time. So it'll be interesting to see how the Lions handle AJ Ouellette, and it'll also be, because Dedrick Mills had his yards, right? Mm-hmm. And also Trevor Harris is known to be a guy that really gets the ball out of his hands quickly, which is very different than Vernon Adams. So, can the Lions handle that part of the pass game? And, with the amount of depth they have at receiver, because there's just no one guy to key on. There's 6 different weapons that are going to be able to get touches for them and still be productive.
Farhan Lalji joins us. Over in the East, Hamilton and Montreal. Man, Montreal looked really good in the semifinal against Winnipeg, especially in the first half. I know the Bombers made it a little bit closer in the second half, but they're just a better team when they have their quarterback, and that's why I'm picking Montreal.
Me too. I mean, look, I had Montreal beating Saskatchewan as my preseason pick, and I'm sticking with it, right? I just believe that when Davis Alexander plays, Montreal's the best team in the league, right? And look, I certainly think the world of Nathan Rourke as a quarterback. and he's as good, but like just that entire team, I think, is better. And when the quarterback's there, they can play with a ton of confidence. They can rebound from a situation like they had in the last game where, all of a sudden Winnipeg goes on a quick run for 5 minutes and gets 21 points and takes the lead, and they can take a deep breath. They know eventually, they've got time. One side of the team will figure it out, carry the other side for a little bit, and then they'll figure it out. But it's a well-balanced team in Montreal.
Yeah, well, man, I will say, Jason Moss, I remember in Edmonton, people like, oh, he'll never be a good coach. He's too emotional. And, I've talked to Jason about it lots. And he was too emotional maybe the first year or two. But after that, I thought it got overblown a little bit. And, man, ever since going there, it's been a really good fit for him and Machocha. And they built a pretty solid foundation right now.
Yeah, alignment matters, right? And, Danny Machocha has always loved Jason Moss from the time he coached him in Edmonton.
Yeah.
He's always loved Noel Thorpe, right? So, and those two men coached together in Edmonton. And, so when you have that kind of organizational alignment, it matters. Quite honestly, it was critical in how they were able to navigate what happened back then when they couldn't get Trevor Harris signed, right? Just because the ownership situation was a fiasco. And so he leaves, and then they got to, they got to figure it out with somebody else. And so the fact that they were able to make that happen and to navigate that requires alignment. So, you're seeing what happened in Toronto. There was an alignment. Whereas Jason Moss knows the types of players he wants are the types of players that Danny Machocha is going to deliver, right? And all of those types of things matter. So you get the best out of everybody when everybody knows that they're thinking the same way.
What did you make of the move this week with Dinwiddie leaving Toronto? He goes as head coach and GM. Now, I'm not sold like that he's going to be the full-on GM there. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's too hard to do both jobs successfully, Farhan. I think he's going to get a lot of help from Burke in that regard. But, that's obviously a pretty big blow for Toronto. What led to it?
Well, I was surprised the Ottawa piece happened, but I did know that there was some disconnect between Ryan Dinwiddie and John Murphy. When you look at what happened 2 off seasons ago, they lost so many pieces of their roster, and they still wound up picking up right where they left off and won the Grey Cup. And then last off season, I think there was a level of confidence there where they're like, oh, we can do that again, and we'll just have the same success again because we're so smart and we can figure out how to, restock the cupboards. Well, it doesn't work like that all the time. Sometimes you're hit, but clearly Toronto didn't, and Dinwiddie wasn't pleased with the decision. So I was told last week that he did kind of go to MLSE wanting a little more control. How that all turned out and why it led to Ottawa, like that I didn't see coming. But, he's not going to be the real GM. Like, he's going to get final say of the roster, right? But he's not going to negotiate contracts. He's not going to head up the scouting department. He's not going to be the guy that acquires players. But in terms of free agency, he's going to have a huge voice in who they keep and who they acquire, given cap constraints. And he's going to get to pick his team coming out of camp, and he's going to pick his team for 18 weeks. And he's not going to have anybody else looking over his shoulder. So I know that Sean Burke's role isn't going to change significantly. And Dinwiddie's going to be able to focus on coaching and play calling, because, you don't want 3 roles, right? Where you're the head coach, the GM, and the coordinator. So I think for the most part, he'll have to deal with 2.
Okay. And that makes sense, because you couldn't do it all. Like, I've seen it. I saw it firsthand in Edmonton. You can't do both. There's too much work to do. You can do both. I don't think you can do both if you want to win. I'll say that. Right.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And I think they know that too. And again, this was all Sean Burke's doing, right? Nobody forced him into this. He made this decision. And he made it with the understanding that his role is not significantly going to change. And quite honestly, I think the fact that he was able to get one of the marquee proven head coaches, that's what allowed him to get his extension. If he had to go hire a Mark Mueller, and I'm not saying Mark would have taken an interview, but a first-time guy, Brent Monson, like you name it, he wasn't going to get that extension. The fact that he was able to make this work impressed ownership enough to give him a little more.
Okay. That makes sense. We had a texter ask us the question: what do you think is priority number 1 for the Elks in the offseason now?
Oh boy. Priority number 1 is they got to figure out the quarterback situation. We all know it's going to be Cody, or expect it to be Cody. We don't know for sure, but they got to get that done. And then in terms of areas of improvement, they need to significantly improve at receiver, and they need to improve at offensive line. Those are 2. Like, I think defensively, there's enough good pieces. They brought in a lot of veterans along the D-line. I think their linebackers that they fell into with the injuries to the two studs proved to be really good. And then they had some young DBs that really evolved and became dudes.
Yeah.
But offensively, you got Rankin, and that's kind of where it ends. So that receiving core, I've said this on your show before, they were ranked 9th out of 9. Like nobody else would put them above 9. They've got to get better there, and they've got to get a little bit better up front. Getting O'Donnell at the end of the year, I think, helps in that regard. But I think they're a minimum of 2 pieces, maybe 3 away in the receiving core and 1 to 2 pieces away on the offensive line.
Yeah, I really think they missed Dunbar when he went down, and even Mathis, right? And not that they're either one's a number 1, but I could make it like Dunbar's a really good route runner. If he's your number 2, I think you got to I really like him. And Mathis is a Canadian, I think with his size can really help. So, but the thing is and Hervey's on record and he's a receiver himself. He doesn't like to pay big money for a receiver. But then, I know they're high on Victor and okay, but we'll see. But I agree with you. They got to get more playmakers in the receiving core. And I think Cody's going to have to throw the ball over the middle of the field a little bit more this year.
Yeah, the thing with Cody, right? Like when Jason Moss had the most success, it was with the screen game, right? Like all passes within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And if you're going to get him to throw deep, which he's capable of, they're not going to be perfect passes that drop right into a receiver's lap.
No.
So, I think we've said this before, that you need yak guys that can make plays in the screen game, and you need jump ball guys that can win contested balls when Cody's throwing it down the field, because it's not going to teardrop over someone's shoulder. So could a guy like Mathis, who's a big, long target, be that contested ball guy? Potentially.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the shake and make you miss guy? I don't think it's Dunbar, right?
No.
You have Dunbar as a 2. I probably have him as a 3 in a really, really good receiving core. Could it be Victor? Maybe, right? So they need one real speed guy and one contested ball guy, and they probably need a little bit of depth. Like I said earlier, you look at what they're doing in Saskatchewan and the fact that they are 9 deep at receiver. It's wild. Can Edmonton get some depth in that group? I mean, they need top end and they need depth.
Well, you look at some of those Saskatchewan guys, they're not all, somebody's got to be free, aren't they? They're not all going to go back to Saskatchewan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like some of those guys are going to come available. You can't live in that world because they're going to be valuable. Someone else will pay, a second round draft pick to get your number 8, right? And it's not only that, like they could start 5 Canadians and be pretty decent, right? So yeah, I mean, like you look at the guys they're benching, like Picton and Duncan Busby, and Joe's probably not going to play this week, but like just when you look at the depth they have, where Emelis and Kean Schaefer-Baker have sat out big chunks of the season, and they've been just fine, not just a receiver, but a Canadian receiver.
Yes.
So, and then they got Joe back from the NFL. Like it all just fell into place. So they've had so many guys be impact guys for them.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Quickly, how would you say Elias Pettersson has played for Vancouver this year?
Okay. There's been some games where and even some 2 to 3 game stretches where it excites everybody, but the bar is so low and everybody is seeking just, some sign of life. And, you get that if he has, a couple good games, I think he had a stretch of 6 points in 4 games or something, a week and a half ago. And everybody got so excited. Okay, he's back. And he's not back, right?
No.
There are moments where he flashes, but look, I've said I don't know that he's ever going to be a 100-point guy again with the Ducks, but he could be an 80-point guy, but a lot needs to go right. And then the other part is they're so bad down the middle that it's easy defensively if you're an opponent to just completely focus on him.
Yes.
And see if anybody else can do anything, because there's just not much there. So he's gotten better than he was last year. Okay, like these are baby steps. He's better than he was last year, but he's nowhere near the player they needed him to be when they signed him for 11.6.
Yeah, very true. Farhan, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, my man. Enjoy the games. Talk to you soon.
There you go. That's Farhan Lalji from TSN. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play. And the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Get Black Friday prices now at the Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off, and with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
This is Hoop City with Paul Sir on Sports 1440.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! We did it!
Here's your host, Paul Sir.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantor's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money. Support Canada at Cantor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through. Lovely Thursday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Cons, did you give those tickets away?
Yeah. Congrats to Cat Dad.
Cat Dad is going. All right, Cat Dad. Congratulations. Hopefully you go. Hey, boys, we had a lot of heavy wet snow in Smoky Lake. 2 hours of shoveling at our place. 2 hours, Smoky Lake trumpet. Woo! It's a good little workout. That wet snow, boys and girls, it'll sneak up on you. Be careful. Don't get too risky. Lloyd Minster, we got we got a pitcher from Lloyd. That's winter stew. All right, legit. Like not just a little bit, but that's that looks like a few inches, I would think. So yeah, it's probably coming. So it's eventually coming. It's just a matter of how long does it last. Like if it snows and then melts once, that's all right. Get a little bit more moisture, but. I just say this: if it's going to snow, then just snow and stay, and keep about -10. We can get on the ODR and get rolling. That would be ideal. Cons ideal. Let's get to 5 questions. 5 questions for our Anglophone listeners. Brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. That's what they do right now, where you can get 65% off leather reclining chairs when you buy the matching love seat sofa only at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Of course, you got the Oilers and Avs this weekend. I want to ask you, if you had to rank McDavid, Draisaitl, McKinnon, Makar 1 through 4 today, how would that ranking look?
What are we basing it on? Just like right now today?
Just today, overall game.
Like how they're playing this year?
Yeah.
Ooh, how they're playing this year? Well, then I'd probably go. And I know McDavid leads the league in scoring, but that's a really tough question. I might go. Ooh, God. I'm gonna go McKinnon, Makar, Draisaitl, McDavid. And I don't feel good about it. It's going to change right away, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue. McKinnon, 10 goals, 10 helpers. McDavid picking up a lot of his points on the power play. He and Jack Eichel with 9 helpers each. McDavid's got the 1 goal, which puts him ahead. So I go McKinnon, Draisaitl, Makar, McDavid. But McDavid could be ramping up here. So like you say, it could change very quickly. But today, that's how I would put it. Question number 2 for you. When Zach Hyman gets back into the lineup, which could be soon, who do you think is ousted from the lineup?
Oh, I don't think it's very hard. I think it's Ike Howard, and I think when Janmark comes in, then it's probably Tomasik's probably first because he's a right winger, and then I would say Howard. Yeah, I think those are the 2 guys that come out.
Can't disagree with you at all. Howard to me just makes so much sense, and I hope he can go somewhere we can play a lot. Question number 3 for you. 900, crazy high number of goals. Ovi reached that accomplishment last night. So I'm asking you, do we see any active players even reach the 800 goal mark?
Oh, man, trust me, I crunch the numbers. You know me, I can crunch a lot of numbers. The only guys I think who have a chance at 800 are Draisaitl and Matthews. Those are the only 2. And you crunch, like Matthews, if he stays healthy, will do it. Draisaitl's getting to 700, no doubt in my mind. Can he get to 8? Well, he hasn't shown any. Yeah, like those are the only 2 that might get to 8. But you got to remember, there's only 3 guys who've ever gotten to 8. Like 8 is really hard. The fact that Ovi's at 9 is mind blowing. And the fact that Ovi, this is my favorite stat about Ovi. From goal 301 to 600, it took him 517 games. From 601 to 900, it took him 514. So as he got older, and it's like basically maintained the same pace, but beat it by 3 games. Like that's phenomenal. Like Matthews has already been banged up, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. I just, to do what he's done, you've highlighted it very well from, in his 30s, he's the outlier there. Not many guys are doing what he can do at that age and continue to put it up, stay healthy. I mean, that's a huge factor once you get to a certain age. So I'm going to say no one else does. I think there's going to be Gretzky, Ovechkin, and that's it. Final question. Well, no, question 4 for you. Thursday Night Football. Broncos hosting the Raiders. Denver comes in as 8.5-point favorites. The over-under 42.5 points at playalberta.ca. Which way you leaning in this one? And of course, any prop bets you like.
Well, man, Denver is playing really well. But as we've seen, you know what? I'm still going to take Denver. And I'm going to go a prop bet of Dobbins over on rushing yards. But that's purely selfish because I dressed him in my fantasy league, and that's what I need.
I will say, you've been chirped a little bit for that one.
Well,
from Austin.
Austin chirped me because he goes, yeah, you got Dobbins and Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, yeah, Joe Burrow's my quarterback. He got hurt. Right? And even without Joe Burrow, I'm still 4th highest scoring guy in my league. So, you're not going to have, can't have 2 dominant running backs in a 12-team league very often, right? Unless you have a keeper that was way late who was awesome, right? It's hard to do.
As I tried to say, Dobbins in PPR is the 18th best back in any good league. He's going to play. Harvey, come at me with that one. He had 2 carries last week.
Yeah, he had
5 carries the week before.
Yeah, he had 8 touches. Like the fact, I know he scored 3, and everybody's like, you got to look at touches. Like it's fluky to get that many scores on 8 touches.
If you want to start Harvey, feel free. But no one should be shamed for starting J.K. Dobbins. in their
especially
league.
against Vegas. Like
Yeah.
you got to look at who they're playing too.
Absolutely. I mean, it could be a blowout. I'm going to take the Raiders to not cover. So Denver to cover 8.5. I could see them winning by double digits, and give me the over, because I think the Broncos, Sean Payton, they don't mind running up the score. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of points in this one, and then maybe the Raiders get some garbage points towards the end. Prop bet. Yeah. Hey, why not both running backs? Same game parlay that, and maybe win some cash with that one. Final question for you. Pizza Pig out tonight, Gregor. What are your top 3 pizzas that you're going to be looking for tonight?
Well, you know what? The thing I like about the pick out is I try, because there's so many you can't try every one. It's impossible. Like between all, like usually there's 20 pizzerias and they all bring like 3 or 4 different types of pizzas. Like, so think about it, you got like 80 different types, man. So even if you have one little nugget of each one, you can't do it. So I always make sure I actually keep a list of what I tried last year, and then I tried different ones. So I always kind of look at, they take it serious as on like kind of like the specialty pizzas, something that's kind of unique and new. So I'm always intrigued by that. So that's definitely number 1 for me. There's always though a few classics. I'm like, hey, I'm having pizza. I want to have a pizza that I know is good. Right. So Donair pizza for me is always very good. So I'll probably have a Donair, but I like to try it from different places, which, that depends too. So I don't really have a go-to cons, because every year it's different. Right. And I know that the pizzerias that come, usually they might bring one that they bring all the time. It's kind of like their staple, but then usually they bring 2 or 3 that they didn't do last year, which is awesome. And we always get new pizzerias every year. So I don't even know. I haven't seen the list. It's my own thing, and I don't even know what's there. The hell's going on? But yes, so I'll be like everybody else. It'll be like a box of chocolates. I don't know what I'm going to get. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Carb out for a cause. So deep dish. I want to find a deep dish.
Oh yeah, deep dish is always good.
Can always find a couple of those that are really good. Put that on the list for the future. Meat lovers. I'm a big fan of meat when it comes to pizzas. Yes. And also, final one, a specialty. Something different.
You have to.
Whether it's I don't even know what it'd be. Donair, a special barbecue chicken pizza, anything like that. Those are the ones I'll be looking for. I'm fired up for this one tonight, Gregor. And going to be a lot of us down there at the event. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sold out tonight. Pretty. So thanks for everybody who bought a ticket. That is awesome. So it should be a load of fun. We'll see. I do recommend though, honestly, like come there and try something that you normally wouldn't try. They're small enough pieces. Like it's like pizza. You're never going to hate it. It's pizza. It's never, even the worst pizza is still pretty damn good. So, and there's no worse ones there. The pizzerias take it, they take pretty pride in wanting to win some of the awards and be the best of. So that's, it's always good. I look forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun. So we'll take a quick break. We got Spec coming up after the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. They got winter tires at cost. Yes, at cost. Don't believe me? Check them out yourself. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
9 games in the NHL tonight. You got the Bruins and the Sens, Blues in Buffalo, Devils hosting the Canadians, Wild take on the Canes, Penguins in Caps, Ducks in Dallas, and the Kings hosting the Florida Panthers. Toronto Blue Jays have extended a 1-year, $22 million qualifying offer to Bo Bichette ahead of the deadline. He has until November 18th to accept the qualifying offer and would net the Jays a compensatory draft pick if he were to sign elsewhere in free agency. The team also announcing that bench coach Don Mattingly is leaving the organization to pursue other opportunities in the majors. In the NFL, Week 10 kicks off. Broncos Raiders from Mile High. That gets going at 6:15. And in the association, just one game tonight. Suns and Clippers meeting in Phoenix. That starts at 7. College football down south at 5:30. Got App State hosting Georgia Southern and UTSA in Tampa taking on South Florida. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the only place to call for heating your home. So when it's time to replace your old furnace, call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or for 24-hour repair with no overtime rates. Legacy even heats your shower with hot water tanks. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no interest and no payments for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right? Available now, only at Booster Juice.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Miss golf during the off-season? Of course you do. So head to the Leduc Golf Club and try their state-of-the-art golf simulators. Perfect your swing, enjoy delicious food and beverages, and even book a lesson with one of the Leduc Golf Club pros. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just starting, the Leduc Golf Club simulators offer a great way to keep your game sharp any time of the year. Call or visit the Leduc Golf Club today to book your spot and swing into action all year round.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Big shout out to GS because you know what? They do a ton of the community. They are the title sponsor tonight for the Pizza Pig Out. So a big thanks to them for always stepping up and helping out in the community at GS Construction. As Mark Spector from Roger Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Awesome, man. Like the Oilers just had their rookie party last night. So when we should have one at 1440 every year, like all these interns, they should be buying us some drinks and some supper or something, Jay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, but I think at the Oilers rookie party, sometimes the vets end up paying for it, Spec. So watch what you ask for. So
whatever.
No,
Do something like that
it's
anyhow.
not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. We actually do have a event coming up here. You're not going to the Olympics, I don't think, are you?
No chance.
Okay, well then, yes, you'll be around. So
good.
You mentioned that might be what the Oilers needed just to blow off some steam. To some you know what we've heard lots of stories of teams where you have a little bit of a get together off the ice, and it seems to rejuvenate them and put a little pep in their step. And we'll see if that happens for them when they return to the ice tomorrow for practice, and then Saturday they'll take on the Avs. Both teams spec kind of rare. Like that should be a fast. Both teams are fast to begin with, but neither team has played a game since Tuesday, so both should be fresh and rested to roll.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing the Gabe Landeskog play. He's one of the great comeback stories. Like no one misses as much time as he misses and comes back and is any good. Guys try to do it, they never do it. But he's coming back, and he looks, by all accounts, he looks like the old Gabe Landeskog. So that's good for Colorado, good for the game. He's a really good player. And yeah, I think, the Oilers have been they are a different team on home ice. They're a good team. They're hard to beat at home. So yeah, two good teams, two fast teams. Saturday night, man, I think it should be a real fun time on Saturday.
Wow, they're the two fastest teams in the NHL. The Oilers have the most 22 plus mile an hour bursts at 42. Colorado has 36, 20 to 25 mile an hour bursts. Colorado has 455. The Oilers have 408. They're first and second. 18 to 20 mile an hour bursts. Once again, they're 1-2. And by a pretty significant margin. You look, they're 16-27. Then the Oilers are 15-78. The next team is Utah at 14-83. So it's a pretty significant difference right now, just overall, the team speed of both of these two teams. So if you're going to that game on Saturday, it should be one that's fairly fast-paced, especially with no backs-to-backs, 3 days between games. Like, I'd like to know how often two teams meet with 3 days between, excluding the Christmas break. And
how often do those bursts of speed for the Oilers come when they make a bad play at the blue line? They're chasing down a breakaway.
Who knows? Heck, a few, obviously a few. Yeah, that is valid. That's been a concern. No question. What's your gut tell you on Janmark and Hyman? Do you think either one plays on Saturday?
Well, it's got to be getting really close. They both practiced a ton. To go on a little road trip like this, a 2-game road trip, means you're close. So you know what? I mean, it's all I got is my gut, because we really don't have a lot of facts out there. But the rate they're practicing at tells me that. I mean, I think the quote from Knobloch, for what it's worth, was he thought they'd both be back for the road trip that begins, I believe it's Wednesday in Philly. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. He said that was he was very confident for sure. That's when they.
Okay, so what do they go? They go Saturday against Colorado. I think they go Monday against Columbus, right?
Yep.
So if, here we go. Let's start getting these guys should be back. You'd like to see them play a home game before they hit the road. So here we go. Let's see what happens with this team when they start to get some guys back here.
Yeah, well, that would help. Like the roster, to me, and I crunched the numbers yesterday that the Oilers could, you bring back Hyman, you bring back Janmark, and even if you have Kapanen remain on IR, you can send Tomasic and Howard down. They don't require waivers. You put Troy Stetcher on waivers, and there you're cap compliant. People are saying, well, why wouldn't you put Lazar down? Because then you're not cap compliant, because he makes less than Tomasic or Howard do. And that's the difference in why you'd be under the cap. So that's why he's on my roster, in case people are wondering.
These injuries, particularly now Kapanen. So that's I'm looking at an Oilers team where obviously Hyman's a regular, Janmark's a regular, and I'm going to say Kapanen's a regular until someone beats them out of a job.
Yeah.
So there's 3 regulars been out for a while here. And we've watched these young guys and Tomasic have a shot. There's an open door. They've had all this time to stake their claim to a spot, to move up in the lineup, to, become guys the coach trusts and wants to play more and more and more. And now that those, certainly the 2 of them, Janmark and Hyman, are close to coming back, I guess it's probably fair to take stock and see how much progress those guys made, in the absence of the veterans, right? I feel like Matt Savoy isn't going anywhere.
No.
Like Matt Savoy's, of all those 3, he's the guy that has grabbed the roster spot. Ike Howard, probably not at 9 minutes tonight. I don't think anyone thinks that's great for his development.
No.
And Tomasic's the veteran guy. The AHL helps everyone. I don't know how much it'll help a 29-year-old guy. Can't hurt him. I don't know how much it'll help him. But I would say to you that I would have to say, Jay, I'm probably a tad disappointed that Tomasic, here we are. He's had a ton of opportunity and not much has happened, has it?
No, he was like, hey, you come over at 29. There's probably a reason why you hadn't come over earlier for a variety of reasons. And Edmonton's a good team. And I think like anything, like he said, he goes, man, I have a new respect for the guys who don't play big minutes. It's a hard job to contribute when you play 10 minutes a night in the NHL. It's extremely difficult.
Oh, for sure it is. And we were talking the other day about Howard, like, well, look at Tomasic. He led the Swedish league in scoring, so he was the best player, most productive player on his team, if not the best one.
Yeah.
So he's playing 22 minutes a night back in Sweden, right? Now he comes over here and he's playing 10, and it's a whole new ball game. Howard, every level he ever played at, was a first line player, scored all these goals, had lots of points, first round pick. Now he comes here, he's playing 9 minutes. That's hard. It is hard. It's really hard. And I'm not saying it's unfair. That's the way you break in. Everybody else did it, but that doesn't make it easy.
Oh God, no. And that just makes it difficult. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. So, and going down to the minors doesn't mean you're done. Like, the list of guys who went down to the minors and then came back up and ended up playing better and playing well, it's a pretty damn long list. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all, especially for the younger guy. Like, for sure for Howard, I don't see it a negative at all if he goes to the American League. I think it could be actually a positive for him, no question. Now, when is he going to come back? And who knows? Like, you don't have to rush him. Now, that leads me to the minor spec. And I know that we're going to say, hey, the ECHL is a long way from the NHL. I would agree. There's lots of goalies who start, though, in the ECHL because you want them to play. Yeah. And young Samuel Johnson, who's in his first year pro for the Oilers, he's played 4 games, got 3 shutouts. I
saw that.
He's playing, like, I don't care what league you're in, you're getting shutouts. It's not like this team is giving up no shots. You're making a lot of saves in that league. And I just, if he goes another month, and he's not going to have, well, yes, there's anything's possible. He could have 3 more shutouts, but if he continues to go like that spec, the Oilers have no choice but to say, okay, let's send him up here to the AHL, because neither one of our AHL goalies is doing much. Now, they're not playing great defensively down there. I've talked to some people in OKC. It's been a little bit of a learning curve for sure for some guys. But, you look at an organization develop a goalie. I'm not rushing him, but I'm also not going to hold him back. And if he goes another month and the numbers are that good, then I'm moving him up to the next level, a la Trey Savage.
Yeah, listen, if he earns it, I mean, it's a special case in Bakersfield with Connor Ingram. Like, he's not just some AHL guy who you got there and he's holding the place. Like, I think you dedicated yourself to this guy to say, we're going to let you play until you get your game together. He's coming out of the program. He's, had a lot of issues. I wrote a big piece on him here.
Yes, I read your piece. Good piece.
If anyone wants to see the details. So, and he's a very interesting guy and a very different, in terms of, you've interviewed lots of guys. I've interviewed lots of guys. You don't interview this guy very often. He's a different personality, man. But whatever, who cares? He's a goalie. We all know goalies. There are lots of different goalies. You got to stop pucks. So my point is this. I get what you're saying. It's going to take Johnsson another month to prove to anybody that he's too good for the East Coast League, for sure. 100%. It ain't happening overnight.
No,
but you also are, I think we're probably fairly careful about Ingram. He gets to have some crappy games. He's had a few already. He gets to have a few bad games, and before the good ones come, right? Didn't get a camp, came out of the program, lots of stuff going on in his life. So my point would be, I guess Johnsson can come up, but it probably won't be Ingram going anywhere if that happens.
No, it might be Matt Tompkins, but we'll have to see.
Tompkins is a veteran guy. Like, you're not putting him in the East Coast League either. So I don't know what you're doing there, Jay.
Well, I think it's pretty easy. If your AHL goalies are playing terrible spec and the young guy in the ECHL is absolutely shredding it, guess what? You're going to call him up. Like, I don't think it's that hard. Like, it's still a business. I know it's a tough business, but that's why I said at least another month. I'm not going to do it after 5 games, right? Yeah. But at least after another month. But that's a pretty good stretch, man. 3 consecutive shutouts. You kidding me? I don't care what level you're playing at. It's pro hockey. You got 3 consecutive shutouts. It's pretty impressive.
Well,
no doubt.
This guy was like, we talked to him in the preseason, and I was struck by, first of all, he's giant. Isn't he 6'5"?
Yeah, he's
right?
And he's like, and I was going to sound dumb, but he's like a big 6'5".
What do you mean?
Well, you know how there's like, he's just tall, like takes up, like he's wide, he's thick. Like if he's 6'5", Spec, like I wouldn't be surprised if he's like 6'5 3/4. Right. You know what I mean? Like he's a big 6'5". Like honestly, when I looked at him, I was like, is this guy 6'6"? And I'm like, oh, 6'5". I'm like, yeah, but you stand around enough guys in the room, you kind of know like this guy's a big dude.
Right. So, I mean, he's a 5th round pick. You know, it's amazing. This is where goalies come from, right? I mean, Eddie Belfour wasn't drafted. Curtis Joseph wasn't drafted. Guys, you know, goalies are their wild cards, man. And there's no reason that this kid coming out of Sweden at 6'5", 5th round pick couldn't turn into a, you know, Connor Halley, man. Like there's tons of history where goalies come from everywhere. You know, Art Ross trophy winners, they don't come from anywhere that often. There's not a lot. I mean, you could find me one, Jay. There's not a lot of 5th round picks won on Art Ross. I'm sure
Jamie Benn did.
Okay, there you go. But very, very few. But good goalies, there's all kinds of goalies.
God, tons. Yeah. Even later than the 5th round, right? Henrik Lundqvist, go down the list of guys for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not drafted at all, you know.
Yeah. So, no, I think it's just an interesting storyline to watch for him because I remember at the start of camp, I had a scout from Europe text me to just say, you watch Johnson. I think he's going to be an NHL goalie. He said in a few years, right? Because I was like, okay, like I never seen the guy play once. So I always like to reach out to guys who have done it their whole life. What do you think of this guy? And he was just like, I think he'll be an NHL goalie in a few years, is what he said. So early starts, he's trending in the right direction. As we all know, it's a big jump. You can light it up in the ECHL. It's a lot of different shooters in the NHL, and that's years away. But I'm just saying, he keeps going like this. At some point, he's going to get to the American League this year, that's a good thing for the Edmonton Owners. Everybody wants you to develop a goalie, and it's probably the best place to get one is try to get one internally.
There's got to be a way to watch Fort Wayne Comets games on your computer somewhere, isn't there?
Oh yeah, you can watch anything now. You can watch anything. Right. I know you can get the AHL package. I've actually never looked into the ECHL package, but I'm sure somebody out there has a buddy or a friend who's playing in the ECHL right now. Let me know. I'm sure if I went to the ECHL website, there's probably like, I'd be stunned if there wasn't
Live Barn.
Yeah. Something like that. Right?
Live Barn.
Yeah. I got Live Barn or Victory or one of those places. Like I'm sure there's a way to watch the games, and why not? Right. Why not check in for a few? I don't mind
it. Where is Fort Wayne? Fort Wayne's in.
I have no idea.
Kansas, Missouri, something like that.
Omaha.
Omaha, is it Fort Wayne, Omaha?
I don't know. Might be. Yeah. Indiana.
Fun place to go. Watch a hockey game.
It's in Indiana, Spec.
Oh, is it? There you go. One of those states. One of those flyover states. Isn't that what they call them?
Yeah, well, maybe there'll be a road trip. Go to Indiana, and then you can go check out the Pacers or the Colts because the Colts are on fire right now.
Colts are on fire right now. I'd go to Fort Wayne right now, man. Let's go. Let's make a road trip.
Yeah, you can. I know YouTube. YouTube Live has them too. I'm looking it up right now. So it's certain games that you can watch. So there you have it. Awesome. There's nowadays the technology in the world, and it wouldn't be blacked out. I can tell you that one right now. So,
well, would they start on time, Jay?
Well, Spec, let's not. Maybe. Hey, I asked Bill Daly about it. So next time I talk to Bill. So we'll be seeing Spec. Dare to dream. All I know, Spec, is like if I ever wake up one day and I go to NHL.com and it has 7:08, I think I might just retire. I'm like, I'm out. I can't get better than that. I cannot do anything more. I'm out. That would be it.
So my pet peeve that I've asked Bill Daly about this too is, how come NFL teams have 70 guys on their practice field and every guy has his own number on his uniform so people could tell who he is? But in the NHL, there's 20 guys practicing and none of them have numbers. And you have to, you got to know how they skate and how he tapes his stick, right? Like I've asked Bill Daly about that. How come they don't wear practice numbers in the NHL?
Oh, fair points, Beck. What did he say? Right. Probably well, some teams do though. I think it's kind of team by team.
Nobody does anyway. The odd time one team did, one team did. No one wears them because the equipment guys still hold sway on this. Go ask Harry.
All right, so Harry's like, I don't want to do it.
Brad Harrison, it's his fault. I'm telling you right now.
It's probably because they change jersey color sometimes, right? So some days you're white, some days you're blue. They don't want to have jerseys for each guy. Probably why. I would be my guess. I had no idea, but that would be my guess. So, Spec, have a good one. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
All right, Jay.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. I'm going to bug out to the Pizza Pigout. Con Man will take you home this afternoon. They got DVD coming up and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's a new season, Edmonton, which means that it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. Yeah. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off. And with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Strudley. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price started at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men in Alberta, and this November we're fighting back. Every dollar raised fuels early detection and life-saving support. Donate today for the men in our province. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your fundraiser or donate today.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or the Papa John's app.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You head over there tonight, have some fun with the Thursday night game. Raiders Broncos from Mile High. Broncos right now 8.5-point favorites, coming off a couple close games. If you ask me, I think they're ready to break out and have a pretty stellar performance. They've got the retro jersey, so the orange jersey with the blue helmet, clean look. I think it's going to go their way tonight, but I've been wrong before. Head over to playalberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley Sitting in for Jason Gregor for the last two segments, Declan Kruger and Sam Wilness here, keeping us on board on the AM dial. And of course, wherever you might be watching from, Oilers Nation or Sports 1440's YouTube channels, Facebook, X, and Instagram. However you're joining us, we do appreciate it. Of course, the Oilers off tonight, back in action on Saturday when they'll take on the Colorado Avalanche. Should be a fun game in that one. But a few games going on right now. Early sends up on the Bruins 1-0. The Devils and Canadiens tied at 1 apiece, and the Minnesota Wild have a 1-0 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes about 7 minutes into the first period. So lots of time for these teams to come back. Kirby Dach getting his fourth goal of the season for the Montreal Canadiens. And one game in the association tonight. So a little bit of a light night for the basketball fans out there, but you've got the NHL and the NFL to get you through it. Right now, let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 28 new vehicle brands and 69 locations to choose from. Go Auto, proudly partnered with Connor McDavid since 2016. We bring in Derek Van Diest from NHL.com DVD. Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing really good. So what are you watching this evening? You got a little time off with the Oilers, not in action till Saturday. Are you NFL or going to peruse the NHL?
Probably peruse the NHL a little bit. Yeah, keep an eye on the NFL. So a little bit of channel surfing, I guess, I'll be doing tonight.
Now, I do want to ask you about the Dallas Cowboys because they did make a bit of a trade, a big trade on the deadline here. But for sad news with Marshawn Nealon passing away today at the age of 24, being reported as a suicide. Very shocking news. And a guy who just had a touchdown last week on that special team block.
Yeah, that is very sad news. And I guess it just goes to show you never really know what's on someone's mind or someone that's suffering from mental health issues. This was a player that his mother died just before he was drafted by the Cowboys, and that was kind of a big thing. He was very close to his mother, and she had passed away suddenly. So, it's a tough situation because you think he'd be on top of the world after, jumping on that football in the end zone after that blocked punt. But it just goes to show you just never know what's going on with someone, and it's a real tragic thing for the Cowboys and their family. And his family, and it's just it's a shocker when you hear something like that, and it just kind of goes to show, I think, that the importance of kind of trying to recognize mental health issues and trying to deal with mental health problems. I know the NFL does a good job with that. The NHL does a good job about trying to recognize that. But yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, and I know that everyone in Cowboy land is hurting, and particularly since he was on such a high on Monday, even though the Cowboys lost that game. He made a great play to kind of jump on that ball on a block punt. So very sad situation. And, there's not much more you can say about it. Just a tough situation for the Cowboys all around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our condolences to his family and friends, and just an unfortunate reminder, check in on your people. Let's look at the Cowboys quickly on the field before we jump into the NHL. But, this offseason, big deal. Micah Parsons goes to the Green Bay Packers. And, for the Cowboys, the defense looked like they were missing a star player. They go out there and get Quinnen Williams. I don't know if I love it, the whole entirety of the package, losing Micah Parsons to bring in Williams. But where they were, going and get a defensive tackle like Quinnen Williams, I love this move for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's going to help, with they're struggling right now. Their secondary is really, really bad. They're giving up tons of yards over the air. They're not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback unless they blitz on every play. Yeah, they're just not – there's not – the other opponent's quarterbacks have all day to throw the football, and they're ripping the Cowboys secondary apart. So I think that's one thing right now that they had to address that. They had to address the fact that this is a team that defensively is the worst team in the NFL. Offensively, they're one of the best. So you're complete opposites here. And had they have even a capable defense, who knows where the Cowboys would be right now. But you can't score 40 points every game and expect to win football games. And I think that's one thing that the Cowboys needed to address. They've addressed it somewhat. We'll see how that helps. We'll see if they can put some pressure on the quarterback and therefore, in turn, help out the secondary. Because right now, to me, that's the weak part of the Cowboys' defense is their secondary. They're not making any plays, and guys are getting wide open down the field. But it all kind of stems from there's not enough pressure on the quarterbacks right now, and they have to try and get a bit more of that. So we'll see how it goes. I think the Cowboys are still very much in this thing. They're not out of it yet, but they just got to turn things around defensively. And if they can do that, and they can keep playing pretty well offensively, who knows where this goes? Because the NFC is not very strong right now. there's some teams struggling right there. So there's a chance to make a move.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in at DVD. Just want to look at the Oilers now, of course. 2 straight losses, disappointing losses for the Oilers, blowing leads in this one. What were your takeaways from the 2 losses to the Blues and the Stars Monday, Tuesday?
Well, they got off to the start. Like everyone was talking about, well, they are always off to bad starts and there's no urgency in big start of games. Well, they got off to good starts in both of those games, and then the urgency fell off. And I think it's one of those things that I get it. It's November. It's tough. The Oilers have played a lot of hockey, probably more hockey than anyone else in the NHL in the last few years, maybe with the exception of the Florida Panthers. So I get it. It's tough, and they got a lot of new guys that are getting integrated here. But that urgency has to be there for 60 minutes. And at first it wasn't there at the beginning of games, and now it's not there at the end of games. They're making bad plays with the puck, bad reads with the puck. When you're up 3-1 with 12 minutes to go, that's a game you cannot be losing. That's a game that you should be able to put away. They came close, and David hit the post. And so it was one of those things that this team is just not up there in urgency-wise and playing to the level that they're able to do. And I think a little bit has, because some guys are still trying to find their way. Some guys are still trying to find their game. But they better do it quickly here, because they only have 4 home games this month, and they're going to be on the road a lot. So they're going to have to try and kind of keep their heads above water on the road here, for the entire month before they get a bunch of home games next month. So I just think the urgency is right there. They're making bad plays at wrong times. Like, you got veterans making really, really bad reads and bad plays. And let's be honest, the goaltending has to be better. When you let in a bad goal a game, you're almost starting at 1-0. And I think that's the situation. We saw Stu Skinner the other night. That puck bounced off his glove. If he catches it, there's no problems there. It's one of those things that everyone has to be a little bit better. And I think they're a little bit better. They'll be collectively better. But it starts with the urgency and wanting to play at that high level, high intensity level. And the Oilers have played at it. They've played at that intensity level, but not for 60 minutes. And I think that's the one thing that, if I'm Chris Knobloch, I'm looking at it, because they need to play at a high intensity level for an entire game.
Looking at Connor McDavid, and it's funny because I think he's been faced with some criticism, maybe the lack of the shots and everything. And, going back just a few games, he was, not what we would expect to see him when it comes to the point production. But he's had 7 points in his last 3 games. You expanded to 5 games. He's up to 9 points in those games and had the goal in the loss against the Dallas Stars. What have you seen from Connor McDavid this season? And then maybe just to look a little closer, the last 3 games, and what's changed?
Well, what's interesting is that we talked to Connor McDavid at the beginning of the year, and he said, you know what, I'm going to shoot the puck more this year. I'm going to make a conscious effort to get if I get into good shooting spots, I'm going to shoot the puck. But I guess it's kind of hard, right, to break old habits, because he's gotten himself into great shooting spots and he's always looking to give that puck away. He's always looking for the next play. He's always looking to help out his teammates. And sometimes you got to be a little greedy. Sometimes you got to take those shots. And then everything else will come. Like, he's still setting up all his teammates. He still leads the league in points, but he's only got 4 goals this year. And this is a guy that said, "Well, I can score 60 again. I did it. Did it once. I can get up there again." And he's not shooting the puck. And I think it's very frustrating when he works himself into shooting situations right in the slot, and he's got a good shot, and he doesn't take it. Now, I know maybe last year or the year before he was bothered by whatever it was, that oblique problem that he had. Maybe he just didn't have the same whip in that shot. But I think that's over, and I think he's got to come back and realize, yeah, he's a good shooter. He can shoot the puck. He can pick corners. And I think the Oilers want him, and I think the fans want him, and I think his coaches want him. Listen, if you're in a prime shooting spot, if you're at the top of the slot, shoot the puck. And I think that's something that he's still a little guilty of. He's still looking for that one more play or that one tap-in goal. And you know what? The tap-in goals count the same as the ugly, greasy, rebound guys in the crease goals. They all count the same. There's no style points in hockey. And I think the Oilers got to get back to a little dirtier in front of the net and get some of those little greasy goals that they've been giving up lately.
Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Now, Derek, when Zach Hyman returns from the wrist injury, I mean, you'd think when it comes to cardio and skating, obviously he's been on the ice for a while, but there might be some trepidation in his game. We'll have to see exactly how it plays out. Where would you start him? Would you work him back into the lineup, or do you immediately place him on Connor McDavid's wing?
I think I would place him on the wing there. I think you're right when you talk about cardio and skating, and he's able to kind of keep up. He's got to find his timing. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. But I think with with a guy like him, his timing is going to front of the net, and he's a guy that does get his nose dirty in front of the net. He's a guy that's not afraid to go to the hard areas because that's where the goals are. So he gets a lot of tap-in goals. And so I think if he's able to keep up, which is one thing, you can skate as much as you want, but once you get into game speed, it's a little different, and it takes a little while to get up there. But you might not play the entire game on the top line, but I would start him on the top line because that's his spot, and see how he handles that. And if you have to ease him in, if you have to drop him down the lineup a little bit, you can do that. There's other guys that can come and maybe take that spot for a little bit. But yeah, had it been a knee injury, a leg injury, or something where he wasn't able to skate for a long time, I think that would be a little different. But, he said he'd been skating for a while. He just couldn't grip a stick. And now it's just a matter of getting that timing back, getting that shot back, and getting that strength back in that wrist. And I think for the most part, he does have it, and we'll see how it goes. But they're not going to rush him back. That's one thing. They'd rather have him in March and April than October, November. So they're not going to rush him back. They're going to make sure that wrist is 100% before he goes. But I do think that he will inject some life into this offense because 5-on-5, the Oilers are really struggling right now.
I can tell you, and I'm sure you've seen it, people you speak to, one of the most polarizing players in oil country now has to be Evan Bouchard. And there's been just too many examples where, he's a little lackadaisical in his own end, or gives a little bit too much space, or has a turnover and the puck is in the back of the net. If you're the coaching staff here, how do you handle Evan Bouchard? Is it enough to just think he'll play his way out of it, or do you think action must be taken?
Well, I think you have to give him that opportunity to get out of it. There's a few things with Evan Bouchard. I think he does miss Paul Coffey a lot behind the bench. I think that's a big thing for him because Paul Coffey understood the position the way Bouchard plays it because he played it the exact same way. He was an offensive defenseman who at times was considered a defensive liability when he played here with the Oilers. And so he knows what Bouchard is going through. And then when Bouchard would have a bad shift, he just turned to him and Paul Coffey would give him advice. And I think that's something that's kind of missed here. And now Bouchard is going to have to work through it on his own. And I think he's able to do that. But, you talk about some players that why hasn't he been benched? Why hasn't he been sat? Why, I think it's one of those things that it's a different time now. I think you have to kind of understand what motivates players. Some players you can kick in the butt, and some players you have to pat on the back. And I think Bouchard is a guy that you have to pat on the back and keep reinforcing, or you'll lose him. And I think he'll snap out of it. But I think it's a lot to do with confidence right now. He's not confident with the puck. He's not making right plays with the puck, and then he's not making right reads defensively. And I think part of that as well is that his defensive partner, Ekholm's game has dropped off as well a little bit. He's not up to where he was last year before he got injured. So he's struggling as well. So I think that's one thing that I think the Oilers will have to look to address is that when those guys are at the top of their game, they're one of the best pairings in the league. But when they're struggling a little bit, they can make a lot of big mistakes. And right now, Bouchard is making too many mistakes on his own end, and he's not playing well enough at the other end to kind of even those things out. So I think that's what the Oilers are looking at for Evan Bouchard. I think he'll work it, like I said, I think he'll work himself out of it. But you just kind of have to give him time, and he's somehow, some way going to have to refine his confidence.
Derek, just looking at the Calgary Flames this year, right now find themselves in last spot in the Western Conference, tied with the St. Louis Blues, game in hand to St. Louis, but they have won 2 in a row. What do you expect out of this Calgary Flames team this year? Do you think they'll be hanging out in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes all year long?
You know what? It's going to depend on what direction they're going to want to go. And I think, you're looking at you got some veteran players there, and you're thinking, should we move these veteran players? Is someone going to be interested in some of these guys? Is someone going to come to Calgary and say, hey, Nazem Kadri has still got a lot of good hockey left in him. He could really help out a playoff team. Let's bring him in here. You're talking some other the veterans that they got there. Can they move them? I think Calgary has to play with emotion. They played an emotional game last night. It was Nazem Kadri's 1000th game. And this is a team that has to play with emotion, and they have to get great goaltending. And I think one of the problems is that now they're relying too much on Dustin Wolf. And last year, Dustin Wolf had a great season, but when he did struggle, he had Dan Vladar there to kind of pick up the slack. He doesn't have anyone to pick up the slack. Logan Cooley is not a guy that can come in and pick up the slack. They had brought in another Russian goalie. They're hoping that he would be able to kind of fight for that backup spot. He hasn't done that yet. So they're basically stuck with with Dustin Wolf. And they're playing him almost every game back-to-back because they have to have a great goaltending performance to be competitive. And like I said, Calgary, it's a team of emotion. They have to play with emotion. They need the younger guys to step up. And right now, a lot of the younger guys are struggling. And when the young guys struggle, you don't have enough veteran leadership to get them through that. So, yeah, there's going to be a point where Calgary's got to look in the mirror and Craig Conroy's got to look in the mirror and say, okay, what direction do we want to go here? Do we going to bottom out and try and rebuild this team, or do we want to keep trying to kind of get into that, playoff picture? Because a lot of people didn't expect them to be in the playoff picture last year. Everyone expected them to drop off. They never dropped off. So that may be kind of you go into the season going, wait, maybe we're a little further ahead than we thought. And I think maybe reality is hitting them right now that, no, they're probably not further than they thought. They're probably right where they're supposed to be. And now they're going to come to a fork in the road here and have to make a decision.
Derek, before we let you go here, my last question, early on in the season still, but has there been a biggest surprise to you when it comes to a team as a whole, good or bad?
Well, I hate to call the Pittsburgh Penguins a surprise because they have, they have Hall of Fame players in their lineup, but I think they've played really, really well. And I think they're a bit of a surprise of how well they're playing. And I think they tried to make that transition where you don't want to bottom out. They kind of did, but you still have those high-end guys. You still have Sidney Crosby, and you try and kind of build that team around those guys. And I think it all starts with goaltending. They're getting really good goaltending, and they're playing really well right now. And I think that's a team that you kind of look at and go, okay, well, where are they going to go? Are they going to have to blow it up, start it all over again? Are they going to have to trade Crosby or Malkin or some of those guys? And right now they're playing really good hockey. So now you're thinking, maybe we can make one last run here with this club. And if we kind of bring in some a little bit veteran talent to kind of make it one last run for Sidney Crosby, maybe we can do that before we have to blow it up. So I think they've been a surprise. I think Utah, the Mammoth have been a surprise in a way because you figured they're eventually dynamic players on that team. And I think adding JJ Peterka was a big coup for that team, and they're getting good goaltending, and they're very well coached. So I think Utah's a team out here in the West that suddenly you got to look at and go, hey, these guys can play. These guys can really hurt you if you're not careful with them. And they're a team that's on the rise. And so I think you have to look at them. And then Anaheim as well. Who thought Anaheim would be where they are right now? So again, these young teams are starting to gain some traction. They're starting to make some hay, and they're starting to turn things around in their respective conferences.
Well, Derek, great stuff. We appreciate you doing this, hopping on another day, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That is Derek Van Diest, covers the Oilers, Flames, Jets, and Canucks for NHL.com, a longtime member of the local media here in the city. I just was watching we got the NFL game kind of on in studio here. Declan, Mercedes Lewis, 41 years old, going to play in the NFL tonight. He was on the Broncos practice roster last week, elevated for the game tonight. That man does not look a day over 30.
He's still doing it, man. They're calling him the LeBron James of the NFL.
Well,
guy just can't quit. Equally as successful and legendary.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very cool to see. I was like, man, how old is he? And then they had this little thing underneath. 41 years old. The first tight end to play in 20 NFL seasons.
I was going to say tight end has to be. It's actually funny when you think about some of the positions that have the most longevity. Obviously, quarterback is up there. Offensive linemen, very strange that they have the longevity they do, but I would think tight end has to be one of the worst. So for him to still be doing it at 41, really incredible stuff.
I mean, the guy was, I believe, a first-round pick back in the day by the Jags and played there for a long time. What was it? Green Bay, Chicago, and now the Denver
Broncos.
Broncos.
Legend.
Yeah.
My goodness.
He's a good player. And man, hey, you got to play Alberta. Sprinkle a little down, maybe $1 and an anytime touchdown. I don't know what the odds would be, but might pay off quite nicely. DVD was the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto, goauto.ca. Over 15,000 vehicles. Go check them out. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more text, 1-833-401-1440. Dive a little bit more into tonight's Thursday night football game and talk some hockey as well. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by Play Alberta here on Sports 1440, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I've got to get 2 cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. Hey, maybe I'll eat 1 cheeseburger right away and save one for later. Maybe I'll stack them and eat them both at once. Options. Oh, delicious, delicious options.
So 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a 2 cheeseburger meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton sports leader. Sports 1440.
Bring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. Multiple CCMA and Juno Award winner. Platinum-selling recording artist and top 10 hitmaker. Celebrate the new year in Alberta, country style. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticeCenter.com/events. He's heading into the driveway. Temperatures dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show November 15th and 16th at the Edmonton Expo Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Get valuable advice at free seminars and learn how you can open a successful business. This is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at Edmonton's only franchise show, presented by Quick Bite, November 15th and 16th, Edmonton Expo Center. Get tickets at edmontonfranchiseshow.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Maybe you want to throw a little money down tonight on the Broncos and the Raiders. You got a lot of NHL games as well. Remember, use your game sense and use code word Gregor50 with your deposit to get a free $50 bet. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Sam Wilness with you here, wrapping up the show. Gregor took off, heading down to the Pizza Pig Out, raising money for Kids Sport tonight. We'll all be heading down there. Hope to see you down there. It's going to be gluttonous, but that's okay. It's for a good cause. I think you're excused for this one. The text line is 1-833-401-1440. Very quickly, Declan, little Kate Bush. Is it running up that hill?
Of Stranger Things fame.
Now,
it absolutely was.
Season 5 coming soon, right? Like end of the month, we're going to have season 5.
They're telling me it's November. Yeah.
Oh,
November 20. Wait, it's November right now, I guess. My bad. November 26th, I think, or November 25th, somewhere in that range.
Stranger Things is everywhere right now. I saw Stranger Things Spike Special Edition New Balance shoes. They've got the Chips Ahoy. They've got a lot of things. I did get the Chips Ahoy. Pretty good. Like strawberry flavored, little red in there.
Here's the real question.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how invested you were with Stranger Things initially, but how invested are you now that it's been like 9 years since its first season?
Has it really been 9 years?
Yeah, 2016.
Holy cow. I'm intrigued. I'll go back and rewatch it every once in a while. And I think it's great. Like it's just a fun show. But I'd probably put like 7 out of 10 maybe. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like when the show first came out, it was such a phenomenon, and everyone's curiosity was piqued. Then the seasons kind of kept rolling and it was good. And now it's been, what has it been, 3 years since the last one?
Yeah.
Like the kids who started are 11 years old. Like Millie Bobby Brown's married and a mom right now. Like it's just, I think we got a little bit too much time in between seasons. Euphoria faces the same problem. So I'm still going to watch it, but I'm definitely not as invested as I would have been if season 5, for example, had came out, 4 years after season 1 back in 2021 or 2020, whatever it was.
The guys who make it, what's their Duffy brothers?
Sounds right. Duffer? No, maybe Duffy. I don't know.
Duffer. I think you're right. I think they said like this could be the way TV shows are made, and that's not good because I'm with you. Like especially when these kids are teenagers when they start filming. Now they're adults. I didn't know she was a mother as well. That's wild to me. She married Bon Jovi's kid?
Yeah, she married Jake Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi's son, and they actually adopted a child together.
Oh, wow. Good for them.
Which, like, listen, credit to them. Happy they're living their life. All the best. 21 or 22 seems a little young to be adopting a child. Like, you're still kind of a kid yourself. But, like I said, good luck to them. Not my place to point fingers. So
Tiger says, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. The show Stranger Things. You should watch it. I guess like a science fiction would be the genre. It's not bad. I don't even think like it. I don't know. It takes you back to a simpler time in the 80s.
It's a good show. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it.
For sure. Absolutely.
Same with college football. Check that out if you haven't seen it.
Well, we got college football tonight, actually. 2 games officially underway now. I think they both got going at 5:30. Hey, Deck?
They did. I have the scores in front of me right now. South Florida still kind of alive to get that group of 5 bid. Very uphill task, but also alive, like I said, because they'll probably come from the American. They're up 7-0 on UTSA in the first quarter. Then Georgia Southern up 6-0 on App State, also in the first quarter.
Today on Fantasy Frenzy, we were talking about it. How like the New York Jets, obviously they had the fire sale, Sauce Gardner to the Colts. He's going to play this weekend, was cleared, I think, concussion protocol, but good to go. Then Quinnen Williams goes to the Dallas Cowboys. If you're the New York Jets, so you've got the 2 first-round picks this year, Declan, and then 3 the following year. Indiana's got a pretty good quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, playing pretty well.
Playing pretty well?
Yeah.
If you are the Jets, are you taking that quarterback and getting him into your facility as soon as possible? Ideally, I would think, quarterback of the future. Or do you use those 2 picks? Maybe now their tackles are pretty good, but maybe build up around the team and then get a quarterback in 2027?
Yeah, listen, I might go the 2027 route. And the reason why is so many of these quarterbacks that were projected to be these, first round, first overall, top 5, top 10 type of picks haven't really panned out. Like Lenora Sellers has not looked great this year. Garrett Nussmeier has not looked great this year. The whole world knows, and he's actually playing better lately, but Arch Manning has not looked like a slam dunk first overall pick. Fernando Mendoza, he's really shone at Indiana, but question marks around that, respectfully. Like you're playing quarterback at Indiana, so I'd probably wait another year, maybe go after a guy then. But I don't know. Like whatever the Jets do, it'll be the wrong decision. That's something else we have to factor in.
That's the problem. That is the problem. Because I've just been looking at mock drafts, and it's okay. Ty Simpson, number 1. Ruben Bain, edge rusher from Miami. Someone tells me he's going to be good. An edge rusher from the U, probably good. But
he is very good. He is very good.
Dante Moore, number 3 to the Jets.
You know who he quarterbacks?
Oh, Oregon. Pretty good track record. Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Marcus Mariota,
Vernon Adams Jr.
Yeah. There's another one I'm missing that a CFL quarterback. Played in Hamilton. The name escapes me. But maybe that's the route they take there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the New York Jets because, like you said, they've got that track record of just making the wrong selection. Even when they get a guy who's pretty good, like Mark Sanchez, they built a good team, got him to the conference final twice. But they still kind of did it with him, like through the run game. I'm just intrigued to see what they do. We were talking about if they won any of those trades. No, I think the Jets lost those trades. You lost good players. Talk to me in 3 years. If all of a sudden you draft well and you have your franchise quarterback and you're winning football games and you can look back and say, yeah, they won the trade. But until they make those picks, they have nothing. You lost Quinnen Williams. You lost a good corner in Sauce Gardner. And now I think it's just kind of waiting to lose a bunch of football games. And even that Colts pick is probably going to be late 20s. Like, in all likelihood, I don't think much is going to change. They're going to be a playoff team, might win a game. And who are you going to get? That's what it falls upon your scouting staff and all that to make sure you make the right pick. The following year, Colts pick is probably going to be late again. Cowboys, we'll see. The Cowboys are interesting. We'll see what happens with them next season. But yeah, it's all on the Jets scouting staff. Declan, just quickly here, do you like this draft class as a whole, being the college football guru?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think there are definitely some great players in this draft class. Like you mentioned, Ruben Bay. He is a phenomenal edge rusher. It's so funny about Clemson. And this is one of the reasons I had Clemson as the team that I thought was going to lose the national championship game this year. Like, as you look down most mock drafts, Clemson has 3 players going in the top 15. TJ Parker, Peter Woods, and Avion Terrell, AJ's brother, at that corner position. Okay. Like, but overall, yeah, it's a really talented draft class. I think outside of the quarterback position, like you look at a guy like Caleb Downs, who's probably been, the best defensive player in college football for the past 2 years. There's some really good linemen. Caden Proctor is a guy who sticks out to me from Alabama. I do like the NFL draft when it comes around, just outside of that quarterback position right now.
Bud Baker says, "Hey Connor, should I trade my first round pick, top 5 overall, my third round pick, Christian Watson, for Smith-Njigba?" Ooh. I guess for Bud Baker, where are you right now? I mean, are you close to, are you contending? Because I love Jackson Smith-Njigba. The story goes that Brandon Douglas and I were doing our Fantasy Frenzy team, and I was really pounding the table for him, and we ended up going with Scary Terry McLaurin. And I will always let the Duke know that we made the wrong pick. Watson, a third and a top 5 pick. I'd be tempted. I don't think JSN's going to get any worse. Right now he's running away with the yardage as well. So, if you're close, you're contending, I think I make that pick or make that trade. Not contending, but it's a dynasty league. Why not? Throw it all out there. Go for it. Bo Levi, Eastern Washington, CFL QB. You were thinking? No.
I think you were thinking of Jeremiah Mazzoli.
That's what it was.
But he also, the reason you might have forgot him, he went to Ole Miss after for his final season in college after he was at Oregon.
I gotta count him in there. Wasn't Taylor Cornelius at Oregon too?
Was he? Have to check.
I might have totally made that up. Tyler Shuck went to Oregon, who's now with the Saints, but I thought Taylor Cornelius did. I could be totally wrong. It could have been someone else. Because he was at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he was just at Oklahoma State. He was Chuba's quarterback, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Then came and played with the Elks for a little bit.
Oh, I'm thinking of another Elks backup quarterback. Anyways, no one cares about my ramblings about the University of Oregon. But yeah, Bo Levi, Eastern Washington, Cooper Kupp's school as well. The Red Field, I believe, right? I met some people from Eastern Washington once in Vegas, and I was like, hey, there's a really good quarterback in the Canadian Football League, and they knew exactly who I was talking about. They're like, oh, yeah, Bo Levi, Eastern Washington legend. We know exactly who that is. Big thanks to everyone who joined us here on this show today. If you missed anything on the podcast, make sure you go check it out, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. You can also go rewatch the show on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM, also on Oilers Nation. And if you're going to Sports 1440 AM, make sure you give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Coming up next, you got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius and Donovan Paulson. I'll have Eddie Steele in as well, co-hosting for the first couple hours. For Gregor and Sam and Declan, I'm Connor Halley. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. If you're heading down to the Pizza Pig Out, we'll see you down there. Right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Ewell. Get your power play amped up with Ewell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. Ewell.ca is your partner in power. Here is Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Sad news of the sports world today as Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealand has died in apparent suicide at the age of 24. Also, former All-Pro wide receiver Antonio Brown has been extradited from Dubai to be brought back to the United States on attempted murder charges. Scores around the NHL right now. The Sens lead the Bruins 1-0 at the end of the first. Blues and Sabres, same mark in the game and the same score. Canadians and Devils tied 1-1 at the end of the first. And the Hurricanes and Wild, a scoring bonanza. That one 3-2 Hurricanes with a minute left in the first period. Week 10 in the NFL will get going in about 15 minutes time here as the Raiders take on the Broncos in Thursday Night Football from Denver. In the NBA, just one game coming up in a little over an hour, the Clippers and the Suns. Two games in the college football world with Georgia Southern leading App State 6-0 in the first quarter and South Florida leading UTSA 14-0 also in the first. One college basketball game on right now sees 11th ranked Louisville leading Jackson State 55-35 at halftime. I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.